Even when you're ready to start, the camera isn't. Morning, people. It is Thursday, the 10th of August, 10th of October. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. And we'll go ahead and let you know who your hosts are for today.
Extra boy, 6 foot plus of pure temptation. Big Moss from the east side of the bridge. Good morning, people.
As always, your favorite shade queen, my own royalty.
And they call me E-Man, the pro-black activist, TDA producer and news analyst, melanin jam-packed.
That's right. Brent is here, as always.
Good morning, everybody. Let me just see who's in the chat. I think I've just seen Mr. Rebranded change his picture. Let me see what he's changed it to. Look at this guy. Anyway, good morning, Sarah. I don't think you told us how your little vacation was. I am dying to know. Good morning, Amy Snowglobe. Good morning, Dorcas A. Good morning, Davina. Good morning,
I haven't heard that name in years.
Dorcas.
Yeah.
When's the first time you heard that name?
When I was in school in Nigeria or something.
Docas.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Oh, it's Dorcas?
That's what I heard.
Dorcas.
Docas.
Good morning, Rebranded. Good morning, Vaughn. Good morning, Charles Mack. Good morning, Lauren Louise. Good morning, Toby. Chat just shifted just now. Bloody hell. Oh, where am I? Tony. Toby Sahid. Good morning, Marlon. Good morning, Abimi. Good morning, Kwarshi T. Good morning, Abi Apia. Good morning, Dr. Amani. Good morning, the Sarah Amar. Good morning, Star Crew. Good morning, Christy. Good morning, Timmy. Good morning, TFR. Good morning, Crud Crew. Good morning, T. Good morning, Easy Bambino. Good morning, Susanna F. Good morning, 9 Ether. And that is it.
All right.
Sarah, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the other Sarah, my favorite Jewish person in the world.
Where did she go?
I think she went to, I forgot, but it was somewhere nice.
How did you know she went somewhere?
Because she mentioned it.
Oh.
In the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful.
All right. How's everybody today? It's nice and rainy out there. I know y'all don't like the rain.
No, man.
I don't mind it, but I don't complain about the weather anymore. Could be worse. Could be a tsunami, so I'll take a rain.
That is true.
But I'm good, actually. I'm really blessed. I feel very blessed and happy today.
We thank God.
Wonderful.
I don't like no bad weather. I was hoping we was going to have an Indian summer this year. No
You
such
see,
luck.
as soon as the clock strike 1st of September,
Do you see?
it's cold. It's cold as heck.
Do you reckon it's going to be a bad winter?
I think it's going to be the coldest winter in a while.
Mm.
I think the sins of the land are going to catch up to everybody, boy. You know, say it's going to be a cold day in hell? This is going to be hell. It's going to be cold. It's already very cold.
I need to go somewhere then.
It's crazy.
My hands are already starting to get cold in the bones, man. I can't do it, man. I hate it.
It's actually mad. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
What are you doing that for?
I don't know. You made a noise and I put the camera to you. That's actually what happens when it is I am live switching.
So I can't stretch in peace.
No, it's just the noise that you made. It was enough for me to be like, what's going on over there? So I just... Hey! President Trump sat down with
Andrew.
Flagrant 2.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
serious?
Not all of it. I see some of it.
How much have you seen?
Maybe the first 15.
That
This
means...
is a bit when he's just talking about his youths and that. And
Yeah, that means you could have listened to the first half an hour, maybe 45 minutes if it is that you just 1.75 that.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But I told you I can't digest.
Yeah, you
information
said
like
you want someone to concentrate, you have to basically play it normally.
that. Was
it's
it,
a
was it any good?
very coherent dialogue.
Oh, was it?
And apparently he has a sense of humor.
Well,
He's sharp.
you can see.
Enough for the room.
You can see he was making Andrew and that laugh and that.
Yes. And
He is funny. Did you see when he's
Can't
talking
look
about
at
the country doctors?
no.
Trump's a proper madman, you know.
Yeah. But he gave a reason as to why he's quote unquote mad.
Oh, why?
No, don't want to spoil anything for you.
You know, I don't mind spoilers.
That's fine. The rest of the world.
Okay.
Yeah. If anybody's actually going to go there and watch it, to be honest. I know some people don't like Trump and some people don't like Andrew Schultz.
Do you think there's like a month left? Do you think that will help his campaign?
Yes, but Kamala Harris is also doing the circuit.
I was going to say,
With
because she was on The View.
With the big podcasts and the big talk shows and whatnot. So,
I wanted to go on Jennifer Hudson.
yeah.
That'd be lit.
So, yes. So, I didn't expect it, but it made sense. Only thing that hasn't happened yet is Joe Rogan. I'm thinking he might even do that.
I swear Joe said he wouldn't do it because Thingy was trying to get Trump on there. Joe Rogan and Trump. I don't know if he wants to do it. He might do it because it's getting to the point where it's like, obviously it's the biggest platform with Trump. He might as well just do it, but I don't think he wants to though.
Why? He's Trump's supporter, isn't it?
No.
No. Okay.
I don't know if that's true.
What's my man called from the JBP podcast? What's his name? You know, the Iranian man.
JBP?
Joe Budden.
No, not the Joe Budden. The
PBD.
PBD.
What was that?
Moneytainment. The Moneytainment.
Oh, Patrick Ben David, something.
Something like that. Him. He was the one that was on Joe Rogan, and he was the one that was advocating to get Trump on the show. And Joe wasn't just thinking it. He ain't had him up there for a reason. I don't know if he's Republican or Democrat or whatever it is, but he wasn't overly trying to endorse that one. He would have made it happen a long time ago.
I know that he kind of got behind the guy with the vocoder.
JFK.
Yeah. What? What did you say?
RFK.
Yes. Yes. And then when it is that he now sided with Trump, he's like, But I don't know if he doesn't like Trump.
I don't know. I can't speak to what's in his heart, but like, if he was a supporter like that, he would have been on there a long time ago.
I don't know about that. I think he's mindful of his influence.
That's what I think it is. Like, I think he agrees with Trump on certain things, but because of the other things, I don't think he wants to be fully showing support because he'll be associated with those other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know what's his name? RFK. He was on the Math Offers podcast.
No way.
Yeah.
We're in the barbershop.
Yeah. I saw, a thumbnail of it. So basically, in that clip, he's basically talking about why he chose to endorse Donald Trump. And since then, the death threats he's been getting. But I've not watched it yet. But yeah. Interesting
But
times.
they really just mousing up. They were like mice in there.
Who?
The four comedians.
Well, from the
three
bit
comedians
that I saw,
and
none of
one
them
black
spoke.
man.
Only Andrew. None of them spoke.
You only seen 15 minutes. And I don't know if it is you're going to change your opinion after you've seen everything. Akash Singh tried several times to ask a question.
And I see him ask one question and get ignored.
Yes, only because I think they were given a directive to just let him go. Let him talk.
Yeah.
And don't talk over him. They didn't cover COVID. They didn't cover quite a few things that I'm guessing they were told not to cover. Because they didn't talk about how it is that he fumbled with Kamala Harris in the debate. They didn't talk about the wall. I guess it was just to kind of make people like him a bit more.
Just a little puff piece.
Yeah. And then at the end, Akash Singh asked a couple leading questions, but it was friendly. He framed the question to him, but it was so friendly, and he kind of gave him the answer in the question. But they were on their best behavior, best behavior.
I don't know what shit still.
Do you feel like that's the right thing to do though? Like, you've got somebody who's a president, right? And you want to do the same sort of jokes that you would do with somebody who's maybe a comedian or, you know what I mean, who does other stuff. What do you think?
I reckon if Kamala Harris was there, they would lean heavily into the "Are you black?" stuff. 100% Andrew Schultz was not letting that go.
I think they'll ask him. I don't think they'll
Not ask. He would be saying jokes all around it, all throughout that particular sit down. He would be sending the subliminals. 100%.
I don't think so. No, I don't think it'll be as bad as people think. To be honest with you, because I feel like with certain people, just like how you're saying, maybe they were given a particular directive, right? I think they would have been given a similar thing with Kamala Harris. It's the potential president of the entire country, so I think they would be behaved as well.
I don't see where you're getting that from. Do you watch Andrew Schultz?
I mean, no, I wouldn't say I watch him like that, but I've seen enough to know what he does.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I see the quote-unquote privilege of him getting that interview with Trump. It would have been under certain circumstances that he would have had to abide by. And remember, he would want a follow-up sit-down once he became president. So his best interest is to make sure and not mash him up. Because a lot of his fans would be Trump supporters also.
But everything you just said there, why doesn't that apply to Kamala as well? So, for example, he would have been given conditions prior to her coming on the show. And also, if she
I don't
wins,
think he would be respecting those particular, those rules, those perimeters.
Okay.
And that's just off the back of me understanding his character. I don't think he
and
would.
how he sees her.
Yeah, I don't think that he would let that slide because it's too much of a big thing. He would find ways, not just one way, to weave it in, 100%. And I don't think Akash Singh, I don't think Alex or the other guy, the hairy guy, is going to sit there with such reverence. I don't think they hold her in such high regard. And she's not the president. Maybe if she spent a term in the office and came across a particular way, then maybe they would have sat with their back straight or whatnot. Because I can see them doing that to Obama. But I think they would also feel as though they have a little bit more leeway to basically unclench their brows and unfurl their shoulders. But Trump, no. I think that he represents far too much and far too many of his audience to basically look to malign him. That's my take anyway.
Okay. Well, I guess we're going to see the effects of all of this stuff in less than a month, innit?
Yes, but I don't know if you asked me a question pertaining to that.
No. I'm just saying, like, obviously they're campaigning.
Yeah.
So we're going to see how all of this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yes, like the video, people. Like the video.
Lest we forget. Look, this is a good point. I think this interview will hurt him in the long run because his audience doesn't like pandering.
Okay. We shall see. All right, people. Happy Black History Month again. For those unaware, of course, we use the segment to big up the unsung heroes within our community who have impacted the world, not just our community, but the world at large. And every day, we want to sing the praises of a man, stuck between a male and a man, a black man and a black woman. And today, we want to big up Mr. Stuart Henry MacPhail Hall, who was born 3rd of February, 1932 in Kingston, Jamaica, in a middle-class family. He transitioned in 2014. But as a teen, he had been baptized in an evangelical youth group, and he attended the all-male Jamaica College, one of the island's elite establishments, receiving an education modelled after the British school system. In 1951, he won a Rhodes Scholarship to Merton College at the University of Oxford, where he studied English and obtained a Master of Arts degree, becoming part of the Windrush generation. This is 1951. And for those who don't know, that was the first large-scale emigration of West Indians to the UK. Why is he important? So, he's known as an important figure. Why? For multiculturalism. So this is the bringing together of different cultures, the people, the ideas, and the traditions, right? He became an important figure, encouraging the study of many issues that affect people and politics. For example, issues about race, about sexuality, and how people feel about themselves. Stuart Hall was one of the signatories of the agreement to convene a convention for drafting a world constitution, a framework to encourage international cooperation and world peace. And as a result, for the first time in history, a World Constituent Assembly convened in 1968 to draft and adopt the Constitution for the Federation of Earth. So he was, you know what I mean, like super integral in that. Shortly before Margaret Thatcher became the Prime Minister in 1979, Stuart Hall and fellow colleague Maggie Steed presented It Ain't Half Racist, Mum, which was an open door program made by the Campaign Against Racism in the Media, which tackled racial stereotypes and contemporary British attitudes to immigration. After his appointment as a professor of sociology at the Open University that year, Stuart Hall published further influential books, including The Hard Road to Renewal and Cultural Representations and Signifying Practices. He also went on to coin two theories, which is still widely used in media today. The representation theory, which argues that all media texts are based on stereotypes, and also the reception theory, which debates how different audiences interpret media texts. He then went on to become responsible for the first cultural studies course in Britain, which was offered by the University of Birmingham. Some famous sayings or quotes that he said along his journey. He said, "I have never worked on race and ethnicity as a kind of subcategory. I have always worked on the whole social formation, which is racialized." He also said, "Some people say to me that cultural studies thinks culture is everything, but I don't think that at all. I think culture is very important, more than important. It's absolutely constitutive." And he also said, Gramsci used to say pessimism of the intellect, optimism of the will. What he meant is understand how the bloody system works. You know what I'm saying? So big up Mr. Stuart Hall. And the black woman that we want to hail up today goes by the name of Kanya King, CBE, and she's a British entrepreneur. So Kanya King was born in 1969 in Kilburn to an Irish mum and a Ghanaian dad, being the youngest of their 9 children. Her father, Christian Okru, he died, unfortunately, when she was only 13 years old. And at 16, she gave birth to her son after she dropped out of school. So having started contributing to the family finances from the age of 17, she was driven to study English literature at Goldsmith College, and later, while working as a TV researcher, Kanya saw the glaring gap in the market for a mainstream British award ceremony celebrating music influenced and inspired by black music. Let's get into more details. So
She's got an MBE.
MBE, okay. When she couldn't find a financial backer, or many supporters in the wider music industry who agreed with her that there was a need for an award ceremony celebrating black music at a time when Britpop was at its peak and British urban music was still under the radar, she remortgaged her home, right, to fund the TV production herself. That she not only persuaded Carlton TV. Do you remember Carlton TV?
Yep.
Oh,
Carlton.
Carlton TV.
Was that like before ITV or something?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think
No,
so.
actually, I'm too young. Don't remember.
See how I didn't even try? But no, not me.
Well, she not only tried to persuade Carlton TV, which was like a London TV franchise at the time, to broadcast a 1996 event, but also managed to organise and book it inside 6 weeks, which serves as a testament to the dynamism of a woman, a black woman, who has become a leading example of a great British entrepreneurship and British acumen.
Oh, that's the mobile girl.
There you go. Since the organization's inception in 1999, Kanya has built Mobo into a globally respected brand that engages with business and political leaders and allies with cultural icons and creative visionaries. With Kanya's expert guidance, the Mobo organization has established itself as a champion of diversity, inclusion, and recognition for BME talent within music, culture, arts, fashion, media, and the larger society as a whole. Over the years, the Mobos has become much more than just an award ceremony. It's now an iconic year-round agenda-setting brand which comprises the annual Mobo Unsung Talent Competition, which is an all-year-round artist development program and daily editorial content. And in 1999, Kanye was presented with an MBE, like Brent just said, and has further been acclaimed as one of London's most influential people. That was said by the Evening Standard. She's also recognised in Real Business as one of Britain's most entrepreneurial women And she was recognised in Thomson Reuters and JP Morgan's Power List as one of Britain's most influential black people, period. So big up Kanya King. She said, along her journeys, of course, the worst pandemic we are facing is racism. You know what I'm saying? And she said, no is something that you will hear a great deal as an entrepreneur, but I like to think of it as not over. And she also said, entrepreneurship is about taking risks and having the audacity to commit and persevere through all the hurdles and obstacles we have to overcome. So big up Miss Kanya King and big up Mr. Stuart Hall. Let's get into some headlines.
All right, before we push on, in the Discord, there is a man called Marcus Risford. And he says, hey guys, just moved to the UK. Does anybody know of any African churches, preferably Ghanaian, lol, near Walthamstow? I come from a non-denominational background, by the way. Manuel?
Oh, I don't know.
Literally, you and Gina should be the ones
This is what I'm saying. That's.
that should know.
I don't know any Ghanaian churches, man, in that area.
Have you ever been to one?
Solely, I don't.
Not in that
Think
area,
so.
in East London. Because you may not know one in Walthamstow.
I don't think so, you know.
I'll ask Gina tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
anybody
Gina
who has heard this message, please, if you do know, please contact myself via DM on Instagram, email, send a message to the TDA number, or you jump into Discord, go into the general chat channel, find Marcus Risford and respond to him or just DM him. He wants to get into a Ghanaian church near Walthamstow. I want to go to the Ghanaian church.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, man. Just to see how they praise and worship. I'm sure it will be good. Sure it will be good. All right.
All right, guys. So our first set of headlines.
I said, sir,
Sir.
Oh, I thought you said so.
to show some reverence.
All right, people. So our first set of headlines. Your Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, repeatedly failed to rule out increases to employer national insurance contributions as Rishi Sunak grilled the Prime Minister over his tax plans.
Did you say our?
Huh?
Did you say our Prime Minister or did you say your?
Your Prime Minister.
Oh.
Yes. During the election campaign, Labour
So funny, this
promised...
is yours too, but okay.
During the election campaign, Labour promised that taxes would not be increased for working people. You remember that, guys? When we had our debate?
Sorry, just read the headlines.
No, I
This
just
is for
need
your
to
own-
remind
This
you.
is not for your own, what's it called, agenda.
I was just reminding you all, man. You know, he was citing VAT, national insurance, and income tax. But speculation has grown about possible tax rises being announced in the budget later this month after Sir Keir Starmer warned that it would be painful. At Prime Minister's questions, Mr. Sunak asked, can he confirm that when he promised not to raise income tax, national insurance, or VAT, that commitment applies to both employer and employee national insurance contributions? Sir Keir replied, as he well knows, I'm not going to get drawn on decisions that will be set out at the budget. We made an absolute commitment in relation to not raising tax on working people. John O'Connell, who's the chief executive of the Taxpayers Alliance, said that taxpayers will be nervous at the Prime Minister's refusal to rule out raising employer national insurance. Hiking this tax would lead to businesses hiring less and paying less, damaging the very working people that Starmer claims to be on the side of. Next headline, and the first full day, of campaigning for the remaining two Conservative leadership candidates begins following a shock result in the last ballot of MPs on Wednesday. So Kemi Badenoch and Robert Jenrick will start making their pitch to the Conservative Party members on Thursday, today, as they go ahead in the contest to succeed Rishi Sunak as the Tory leader. James Cleverly was unexpectedly knocked out of the competition on Wednesday, having been the bookmakers' favourite after the previous round of voting. And one Tory MP was speaking to his PA news agency and said, one of two things has happened. Either a number of people lent James Cleverly their votes yesterday and rolled them back, or James Cleverly's lent votes to Robert Jenrick and over-egged it. Both remaining candidates now have to make their case to the Conservative members across the country ahead of the final result being announced on November 2nd.
Oh, so they're still in it?
Who? Yeah, Badenoch and Jenrick.
Oh, so they're not still in it. The two men that was just mentioned just now.
Oh, no.
Cleverly's out, but
Yeah,
basically
he's
you're
gone.
saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that first week, first 7 days of November is going to be quite important, man. Going to find out who the opposition will be, the opposition leader will be, and find out who the president of America will be. And our next headline...
Who do you think is going to win that next round?
Tories.
No. Yes. Do you see Badenoch coming out victorious?
I want her to win, to be honest with you.
Because you want her to be the opposition?
Yeah, I want her to win. Yeah, I just want to see a black woman up there, like, given a chance to lead. And I believe in her ideas, in implementing her ideas better than the other previous leaders. And I think it'll just be a better competition. So even if she doesn't win and become the PM, I feel like she will be able to make Labour do better. You know what I'm saying? Because you need a good opposition. Otherwise, you can be mediocre as a PM, I think.
All right. So you don't fear that she would be like detrimental to the perception of black people?
No. I don't think white people need help with that. I think how we're seen is how we're seen. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So next headline, and Joe Biden and Benjamin Netanyahu spoke for the first time in weeks on Wednesday amid expectations of an imminent Israeli strike on Iran, which Yoav Gallant warned will be deadly, precise, and surprising. Netanyahu's defense minister issued a warning in a video message on Israeli media on Wednesday night, broadcast after he postponed a scheduled trip to Washington. He said in that same video, "Whoever attacks us will be hurt and will pay a price. Our attack will be deadly, precise, and above all, surprising. They will not understand what happened and how it happened. They will see the results." The Biden administration is keen to weigh in on Israel's plans and avoid surprises like the Israeli killing of the Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, although the Wall Street Journal reported that Israel had so far refused to share any details. Biden last week said that he would not support any strikes on the Iranian oil or nuclear sites. Of course not. But anyway, that is it for our headlines.
All right, let's get into what you're saying. Topic of the day.
All right, people. Topic of the day, it won't be a long one, to be fair. But it was just something that came to mind when I saw a tweet from KSI. So he basically just said, generational hate is everywhere. I'm so tired of it.
Shut up.
He said, I'm so tired of it. Just leave me alone. So apparently this is because he's got a new song. And basically, obviously, he's attributing people not liking the song to the fact that people are old, I guess, right?
Or they're haters.
Precisely, yeah. They put both, basically.
No, the song might be shit.
Yeah, exactly. But it could be that, but it could also be quality. Let's give him a chance, right?
Have you heard the song?
Not at all.
Should have.
Oh, you had it?
Of course I haven't.
Oh.
Why would I? But you generated this. You should have listened. You should have at least listened to the song.
That's
know
what
why?
producers should do.
No.
Okay, I didn't. Don't tag on my point. You
Thank
make
you.
your point separately.
Exactly.
Yeah, sometimes.
You know, like when you say something, your mom tries to tag on. Now she uses that as I'm like, whoa, that's not where I was going.
Coffee messages yesterday. Let's have this feed in right now.
Yeah, so basically the question is, do you feel like everything is as it's always been and the issue is generational in terms of people's perspective, or is things actually getting worse or things actually getting better? Is that a real thing?
What things?
Just anything. So for example, we'll start with music. So if I was to ask you guys R&B back in the day compared to R&B today.
The boys ain't begging no more. The boys ain't begging like they used to. And I miss those days. When they used to be on their knees, sliding in the rain. I miss the boombox era. They'd be outside the window doing all of this.
Before that, women used to stand for something in R&B.
Now women used to fall for shit.
Women used to stand for something.
They were
women used to have integrity. And
I mean, I'm glad about that part. Because when I listen to R&B now with a woman, I can't breathe without you. You know, there's parts I skip. As a child of God, I have to skip that.
see, you're the problem today.
I have to skip that. There's no
the
damn
problem
way
is
you're
that women were singing the
I
right
can,
things.
I absolutely can live.
Women used to sing about unconditional love.
Who was that said I can't breathe without, I can't live without you?
Living it without you. Is it Mariah song?
I can't breathe. Something like that. Girl, stand up. But you can't. You get another one, man. Give it a year.
I'm singing a song in my head. Who sings that song?
This is
I can't remember who sings it.
It's Mariah. I think it's Mariah.
No, it's not Mariah. Is that Celine Dion or something?
I'm hearing the.
Yeah, I can't remember who sings it, but there's a lot of songs that they be singing, talking about
That's
they can't.
crazy. I'm literally singing it in my head.
I'm
Same.
literally singing in my head.
Same.
I can't pin the voice. They can't breathe without them. They can't live without them. If you leave me, I'm going to die. Life just begins. What are you talking about? I think once women need to look. That's what gets me through a breakup chat. I tell you, the amount of men out there that I haven't met. It's so exciting. Anyway, but it has changed there.
It has changed.
But I think that love is not. I think the way people see relationships and stuff has changed anyway. So back then it was pick me music on both parts, but
Is that a
now
good
I
thing?
think people,
Isn't that a good thing?
not
Since
for.
both-
It depends if
since
you want to
both
be
were
picked or
doing
not. It depends what kind of mindset you have.
Okay.
Like I can't imagine telling a man that I can't live without him. I live without anybody. What are you talking about? The person I can't live without is me, because I'll be dead. But so I feel like the way people see relationships and love and stuff has changed over time. So I do think that is feeding into the music.
Okay.
That lifestyle and society has changed. Things have evolved in society. Well, evolved or underdeveloped, but whatever way, things change in society, and I feel like the art and stuff always reflects that. So
Why in the chat, people are saying Celine Dion. Some
I think
people
it's
are saying
Celine
Mariah.
Dion.
People don't know. Some people are saying Mariah, some people are saying Celine Dion.
I think it's Celine.
Let me Google because I got a vision in my head.
It's a Celine kind of song.
Yeah, but
It's
I
either
don't
Celine
think-
or another white woman.
think it's Mariah,
It ain't
though.
Mariah.
No?
Nah, the song I'm singing anyway.
Or have they done covers of it? Yes. Okay, so you don't think this is a case of quality? So Brent, let me ask you, yeah. In terms of the music that you listen to today, compared to same genre, yeah, compared to back in the day, let's just say 20 years ago or something, do you feel like it's changed in terms of quality, or it's just different? And
It's Mariah Carey, man.
Is Mariah Carey?
Song called?
Yeah.
Without you.
Okay. Let me see if it's the right someone I think about. I don't think Celine or some other white woman.
Obviously, she's not the only one who sings it. I don't even think it's her song. It's a cover or something, isn't it? The original's old.
I can't place Mariah's voice on what I'm singing in my head.
It's Mariah, man. I know my
Yeah,
stuff.
it's Mariah. Yeah, so Ghana Greatness said, yeah, they both did the version. Celine Dion and Mariah.
Okay.
Okay, so I've never heard Mariah's one. Have I?
Yeah.
This on the Titanic. I never heard this first. I never heard. I would definitely sing this Celine in my head. But it's all that kind of stuff. All the best, but yikes.
Yeah.
There's certain things that was probably. I don't know. There's probably some things that was better back in the day. Some things would be better now because of the advancements in like just technology and stuff. So you get that side of things where there's things that are better today because of technology and things are more advanced. There's the other end of the spectrum where people want that authenticity, like traditional, like something's authentic and it's old school. It's done the proper way, innit? You get me? So I just think it depends on your perspective for real.
Yeah.
On how you look at things.
Because the older generation, they swear they had the best music.
But that music's lasted. That music's lasted.
Lots of time in it. But that's the thing that we wouldn't know.
People listen to music from the 50s.
But then we wouldn't know that
the 60s and
the music today wouldn't last. Well, some definitely wouldn't. Some
we know
definitely
a
will
lot
not.
of these, we know a lot
It's
of
not
these
gonna
songs
last in
we're not
2
listening
months.
to in 30 years.
But then there are songs today that also will. That basically, I always feel like with every generation, I feel like that generation, the previous generation, always feels like their time was better. So even like our parents' generation, with all the great music that they have or they had, I feel like the previous generation of that would have been like, oh, that was nice, and what are you guys wearing today? And
It was probably better before.
But that's what I'm saying.
Because nothing ain't original. Everything's been redone. So if you got to
Yeah,
do
but-
it first, then
But what I'm saying is that every generation, every previous generation thinks that their shit don't stink. But we're gonna keep going through time thinking that. Because even today, people look at Gen Z and whatnot and make comments like, oh, they're not going to raise their kids. They're not going to do this. They're going to do that. But do you know what I mean? So every generation's always going to think that things are better for them. But I actually feel like it all just gets recycled. Like you said, I don't think nothing's new under the sun. It's just different versions and maybe a more evolved way of doing things. But
Yeah, but there's a
Nothing's
different
new.
time people are doing different things. Like in the future, like Baldock Yellow ain't gonna feel like
You speak for yourself.
it's not gonna feel like change gonna come, is it?
Speak for your damn self.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Because we
Like,
went from
no, it's not though.
we
It's
went
just not.
we went from boy like yellow to my booty hole brown. That's there's a change.
Sexy Red will be here forever. That's a
There's a
different conversation.
change.
I tried to do a segment with Brent and said no, I'm not allowed to.
I don't want to know what the segment is.
That is not true.
It's true.
What's the
To
segment?
be honest, people could pin
Rotation.
anything on me these days because I told one lie, one little lie.
One.
That's a lie as well.
That's the second one. If that was your first one, this is your second one.
Nobody can pin anything on me that way.
Oh,
It's a plan. But do you know what he wanted to do? In fact, what I am suggesting he does, because I want to see what it looks like, is he wants to make a segment on the rotation and just talk about, break down the genius of Sexy Red and her impact on the culture and the world.
In the world.
World, he
Sexy
said.
red in the world.
I'm telling you, he got to travel the world to know.
And you would only
So you went
know...
to DR one time and you think that now you've
He had this
explored all
thought
the
before
lands.
DR.
That's a shame.
He had this plan
wish he
before
didn't.
DR.
Wish he had it after.
He showed me his notes.
Yeah.
He made notes.
But you know what the best thing about you is? That you have a platform outside of this one. You can take that brilliant idea to being a series. That's what the hell you could do. Or take it to filthy if you want. Switch it up. That's crazy.
I'm
So-
looking forward to it, to be honest.
Of course you are.
Just
So
to
you-
see what he did.
So you guys actually think that certain things are getting worse? Because obviously, yeah, wouldn't it be unfair to compare Change Gonna Come to Baldock Yellow? Like, wouldn't you need to compare it to another?
You can't compare it to like Tommy Cobbins, yeah.
Yeah, something else modern day that's kind of in a similar sort of vein as.
Can't
Change
compare it to
Gonna Come.
Luther Vandross. That's crazy. You gotta compare it to it's like for like.
There's not like for like. It's a different things. It's different genres. It's not. You can't do that. If you want to do like tempos or feel good, what do you say? Like club music. Like because it's a club music, so songs that they was dancing to in
Yeah.
the 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
Say a little prayer.
I would take Bodak Yellow over Say Little Brett.
Say a little prayer.
I'm taking
for
Bodak
me.
Say Little
No,
Bitch.
no.
You can't fuck with me if you want me to. That's what I'm taking. That's what I will have that. Thank you very much.
That's actually crazy.
That's going off. Who's swaying in the club?
They were swaying back.
I
in
don't
the
want to
day.
be swaying. That's silly. Just slow dancing in the club.
So okay, so you guys definitely think things are definitely getting worse, yeah?
I don't think it's getting. I don't think it's. No, I definitely don't think it's getting worse. I just think things are changing, and
Okay.
it makes sense. That's what humanity is about. Like back then, they used to send letters via pigeons and whatnot. You send a letter, you hear back 2 months time. Person you're writing back to might be dead. You don't know. Now, instant messaging. So I just feel that things are changing. Imi says people aren't passionate enough these days, just want quick success. But because society allows us to do that, and people have no reason to want to wait out a dream or wait out things when I've seen somebody get it overnight.
Yeah.
Back then, like I feel like now we have so much access to things. So I feel like it just makes things very different. Like back then, we didn't really have access to like celebrities and whatever else. So they seemed so far away. Now, if you want to, you can actually DM Beyonce. She's not going to reply. Well, you never know. If you've got a kid that's a talent, that's doing crazy, that's doing very cute things, she might send flowers to your house. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like I wouldn't say that things are getting worse. I think the only thing, I feel like there's certain things that can be gauged. Like for example, society is more secular.
Okay.
That we can study that. There's something that we can study. I guess the environmentalists will say that the environment climate is getting worse. That we can study. But I feel like when it just comes to societal cultures, because we're not exposed to how people lived and like the mindsets all over the world, we can't say it's getting worse or better.
So
Things changing.
So something like music is definitely subjective then. It's not an objective thing.
Music is definitely subjective because there's definitely some shit songs from back in the day
Okay.
that will skip.
All right. Marks, Brent, what's your thoughts? Music completely subjective in terms of like the quality of a track, the quality of an artist.
All that kind of stuff is subjective. Depends on who you're talking to.
Someone
I think
said
it depends how you
actually.
feel. I personally feel all music across all genres was better.
Jermaine
better back in
Dupri
the day.
said that music isn't that great anymore because people aren't starting out from church.
Mm.
Because you know, like back then, like Destiny's Child, all the people all came from
Everybody.
church.
Yeah.
People had church background, and I guess that's why they could hold a note.
No, being from reggae, lovers rock, all of these songs, like these songs that, like I said, they've withstood the test of time, and obviously we've got to live through it to know. But we've been here, we've seen what's going on. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, this stuff's all microwave, like easy come, easy go. It's not gonna last. Like, we're not putting down roots. There's a few artists within the crap that's going on that be doing their thing. Granted, there's always going to be good artists. You know what I'm trying to say? Like across the board, whether it be rappers, singers, people that's making their impact, like new people, obviously people in hip hop and stuff like that. Like the stuff that, like even like Drake or whatever. Like, look at Drake. Some of his stuff's going to last. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so.
But then do you know what it is as well? Do you think that as well? Because I think as well that there's still really good music who are people that are on the level of Whitney Houston or Mariah, like of all these other legends who are making, but they're not the popular ones. So they're not the ones that you hear. So until like they blow or something. Like when people blow, like Victoria Monet, for example, the woman can sing. But when she blew up is when people were like, oh, she's got all this stuff and blah, like, so
they don't
it's
get
still
the
there.
chance
They
to.
just don't get
like
the...
SZA and Summer Walker and these girls, they're doing
Yeah.
their thing, like, and they're cold as well. Like even like SZA,
Yeah.
I love SZA, she's doing numbers and all that. But like they've
not the
had their
populist
they've had their place in history. They can't talk to Mariah and Whitney. They just can't, and because they've gone through times where they've done things first, where they was like they paved the way for these girls. Whitney was 19 performing over Harold, performing at the Super Bowl, shut down the whole country. This is no internet. This is no that kind of fanfare, that kind of thing. You can't recreate it. She's like one of the first of her kind. Like she's coming into a space that no one done these things before. Like the way these pop artists used to move when they're running through the streets and all that kind of stuff. You don't kind of get that fanfare no more.
Yeah.
Man fainting when they're chasing down Michael Jackson or Blackstreet or Backstreet Boys and all these
Blackstreet Boys.
new kids on the block.
Yeah.
Like because they've had the chance to do it first, and now we're used to it. So we got certain expectations and stuff like that. Like it just don't feel the same.
But then do you think that's to do with then just the stardom of it and not so much talent?
Maybe
Because Ariana Grande can sing.
because of social media and stuff, and we're closer to the stars. Like when you talking about people who feel like they could DM Beyonce and stuff like that. Because we're closer to it, it changes the perception of it. Whereas before, stars were stars.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
go see them, you have to go to their show,
You actually
or you have to
physically
go
have to
be
go
able
queue
to
up.
afford a TV to watch
Yeah.
MTV or whatever. Like some people can't see them. You get me? It's records and the posters on the wall, and like that's it. So that celebrity is big. Now you're just a few steps removed from most famous people.
Is that maybe a reason why, just to kind of take it out of music for 2 seconds, the reason why somebody like Savage Dan said Mike Tyson isn't in the top 10? Because a lot of us didn't have like cable and all that to see Mike Tyson fighting.
Yeah.
But today you're seeing AJ, you're seeing Tyson Fury, and you're thinking, wait a minute, I'm not too sure Tyson can stand with these man.
They are facts. Makes sense.
But that's the thing, I was going to say, like, even though you weren't there at the time to struggle to see these people, does that take away from the talent of people today? Because if you were the only singer back then, of course you'd be the lit one. If you're the only boxer, then of course you're gonna be the guy on top. But then now that time has gone by and there's other people there now, your litness can go down.
So let me ask you this then, without sounding blasphemous, did Whitney kind of...
Oh, Whitney can sing. Because Whitney's been trending a lot recently. Finish your question.
No, I was just going to say, was she as amazing as she was because there was a lack of competition?
No.
Okay.
Because Whitney will sing these girls under the mattresses today. Like, and again, that's not to take away, because I feel like I would have loved to hear Whitney sing with Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande's voice is powerful. Yeah. She can sing. But I think that with Whitney, like there's some people I feel like as time goes on, they're not that talented. However, Whitney, there's certain people that Whitney can flip and sing.
Yeah.
Can flip, like it's amazing. Like honestly, every time I see a clip of her, I always stop to watch it. And I just always wish, I actually wish I saw her live. Like I wish I saw her live. She's amazing. But yeah, I think some artists, I don't think they would have been as big if there was this many people around. You know how people always talk about, if Aaliyah was alive, Beyonce probably wouldn't be that big and blah, 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 blah. I don't know the correlation with that. But I feel like, yeah, if it was a different time, maybe people that are big
They
wouldn't be that.
romanticize Aaliyah a lot.
They don't
Aaliyah
make
was
discussions
cold,
there.
but she wasn't doing Beyonce stuff.
She was not.
Like, so I
She was rocking
don't
about.
get.
It was not. She was
I don't
not.
get
I don't know where that comes
why
from.
they do this stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
But is that the same sort of argument with Biggie and Tupac then? Are those two?
I think they're
romanticized?
romanticized as well. I think they're romanticized. I think when an artist dies, all of a sudden now people are like, oh my god, it's the best thing.
that's
in the
not
world
fair
since
though, because
sliced
they've
bread.
withstood the test of time as well. How long are we romanticizing for? Them albums are still running now. Biggie, One More Chance will still shut down the dance now.
Yeah, but
like today.
Yeah, but the point you're making for that.
You can make
Also,
Aaliyah.
you can literally make that for Aaliyah.
No, but that was a different argument. People were saying that if Aaliyah was alive, Beyonce wouldn't be what she's doing. My argument was Aaliyah wasn't even doing Beyonce things when she was here.
Okay, then would Jay-Z be who he is if Tupac and Biggie were here?
Maybe not.
Conspiracy TikTok is eating this up, boy. They're loving it.
So who's better? This might sound blasphemous. Maybe you guys can give better comparisons. Vibes.
Rihanna and Beyonce exist in the same era.
Yeah, but different.
And they are both
But different vibes though.
stars. I'm talking to the Aaliyah point.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Because Rihanna can't sing like that. She can't sing like Beyonce.
No.
But some may even argue that she's bigger than Beyonce in certain spaces.
Is it in the space of music? Or are we talking about in other things?
I
Certainly in business.
do I when you hear Rihanna or Beyonce, do you think music, or do you just think star, celebrity?
I think when I think
Just the brand in general.
Just the brand.
just the brand,
right?
yeah.
Sorry, man. I'll go on.
Yeah, you guys might be able to give better comparisons, yeah. But okay, who you choosing? Vibes or Bob Marley?
Bob.
I think I'm choosing Bob.
Why?
He's an icon and legend. I like people that have like meaning behind their music as well though. Like I like people that's like, yeah, this is what the one talent you have, but it's more than that.
Okay.
His music's had a
So-
bigger impact on the world.
Yeah.
man.
Do you feel like Vibes could get there? Say if Vibes didn't go president.
What in this time? Oh, I thought you meant now he's out.
Now he's
He
a bit.
couldn't have the same impact as Bob Marley. They make different kind of music. It's different.
Yeah, very different
things,
vibes.
Different things that they're
No
pushing.
pun intended.
So even the effect, whether it can influence enough people to dance and popularity and masses wise, it's not the same. It's not the same thing, and it's not gonna have the same effect because the music is different. It's different things, and then the music that he made at a time. Again, like when you listen to music, it always takes you back to a time in your life, whatever you was doing. You get me? Time when you was happy, time when you was sad, certain age, uni days, secondary school days, all those kind of things. And Bob Marley's music is at a time, it was a serious time in human history, and it impacts, you know, like revolution, all these kind of things, and just so everything that is tied up to. When you think of Bob Marley, you think of everything, of him going over to Africa and him, you know, like just everything that he done and what he means and what he represents.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how good Vibes music is, it's chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. So in saying that, then can you see the argument for Kendrick being the greatest rapper of all time? Because he's, I guess, the best. He's the best of this generation, right? He won the battle, right? Plus, he's got
But
the other,
against who? Drake?
yeah. Those are the two best.
No, sorry. Be fucking for real.
But you know what I'm saying, right? There's an argument for that. But he's got the other accolades. He's got the Pulitzer award. He's got the social commentary thing.
Do you know what's so funny?
What I'm saying?
Because even this whole Kendrick thing, even that I just think is the excitement and the gossip and the tea of the excitement of the whole beef with Drake that's got people talking about Kendrick the way they do now. Like I've always heard people respect Kendrick and whatever else, but now it's the excitement of all of that stuff.
Hey, that was a quite bad question for me because I don't think Kendrick's that guy. Period. And it's like, but I don't know if that makes sense because Kendrick's too big not to think. It's like, I can't tell you he's not what they're saying he is.
Yeah.
He must be because that's what's going on. It's like Taylor Swift.
Exactly.
Like, I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I couldn't tell you a song. I don't know what's going on. I don't subscribe to all that. I don't think it. But you're telling me she's the biggest in the world, and I see the numbers, and you see the shows, and she be doing what she's doing. So it's like, all right, who am I to argue?
That's the thing.
Fair play. So Kendrick might be what he's saying, but I'm saying for me personally, I don't put him like that.
And I think that's what makes it interesting with music. Because I remember when Kanye did the whole thing, when Beyonce didn't win and Taylor won, but at the time I was listening to Taylor Swift, but like it's interesting how sometimes we think because this is someone that we know and it's our bubble, we just assume they're the biggest in the world. Like even when back then when we used to watch the awards and whatever, and there were people in there that you'd never heard of, and you're thinking, of course Kanye's going to be the one to get it, and then the other person gets it, and you're like, oh, who's that? But then when you go and look at what they've been doing,
hundreds of millions,
they've been touring the world. Like people are passing
that.
out seeing them.
Yeah,
So I feel like that's the thing with music, right? That's why it can't be an absolute. It just can't be an absolute because it's about what you've personally been exposed to.
So, KSI aside, don't make it about him.
I forgot we're talking about KSI.
But him aside, right? Does he have a point there? Is it just a case of the generations maybe not relating to the new music, and so maybe kind of hating? Remember, everyone was like this, myself included, when Soulja Boy dropped. I thought, what the hell was this foolishness?
Soulja Boy, tell him.
It didn't make sense to me. I thought, this is garbage. You know what I'm saying? But the guy, I'm not too sure if he's fully relevant today, but he's been here for, you know what I'm saying? Like, considerable amount of years.
But you know what is that? The reason why I don't like these conversations and when people have it is because people don't like criticism of their work. And whenever their work is criticized, they just jump to people are being haters or you guys don't know good things or whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
Of course, I might say that someone tells me they don't like TDA, then you have no taste.
At all.
Okay. However, that's the reality. That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a thing like, because you know what always gets me as well is that KSI at some points would have heard certain people's music. I don't know if he'd ever talked about it in past his content and whatever, but would not have liked it. And that's what I always find interesting because there's points in your life where you didn't like it. There's points like in whether you're a musician, there's points you listen to other people's music, you didn't like it, you criticize it, talk to your friends about it. But as soon as your music now, all of a sudden now people don't know good things. As soon as your podcast now, all of a sudden people don't know good things. Do you get what I mean? So I don't think it's even an argument to make like that because he's just upset that people are criticizing the work that he's put, but everybody does that for all music. When Drake puts an album and people are like, oh, it's dead. And the album's out 20 minutes, by the way. Album is 55 minutes long. But somehow, at 20 minutes past midnight, you are telling us, as a matter of fact, that the album is dead. How do you think he's going to feel? But people never think of that because it's not them. But when you put a single out now...
I keep finding more songs that I like on For All the Dogs.
Come on, man.
I can't even... Obviously, they're going to say I'm biased because
that's the thing with music as well, though.
I was playing all For All the Dogs. I'm saying, I swear this album is better than... Everybody said it was, it's got some decent tunes on there, but...
And that's what happens. That's why I always feel like as an artist, you can't take it to heart. Because there's albums that I've listened to where I'm like, oh, that's not my favorite track. But then when I've gone back like 2 years later, I'm like, this is it. Do you get what I mean? So you can't take it to heart and start giving people speeches about his generation. Boy, shut up. He was like, what, 21? Let me see.
All right, so there's no point in me saying to you then, okay, there's a competition. Even if you guys disagree, do you feel like there's a competition in the argument of Vibes versus Bob Marley? Is there argument to be made that Burna Boy is better than Fela? You know what I'm saying?
So rude.
I know.
That's so rude to say.
I know, it's crazy. But I'm just saying, for those people who kind of feel like, wait a minute, you're just hating on Burna Boy. Look at the numbers, though. Look at the notoriety worldwide.
Well, that's
look
not fair,
at the
though,
concerts.
Look at different times.
It is, but is he basically just doing the best he can do if Fela was reborn almost?
I don't know enough about Fela to even have that argument. I'm saying I know Burna Boy.
No, but you also thought Ibo and Shayo was the tribes in Nigeria, so you definitely down in this conversation. Do you know what I think is unfair as well? Yeah, because I actually think it's a better way. I think it's an easier argument to make that the people back then who actually paved the way for newer artists to be able to like. Fela crawled so Burna could walk. And Burna Boy would even tell you that himself. I think it was his godfather or something like that. Anyway, I feel like it's more iconic that people back then who didn't really have much, right, were able to do such iconic things where their name has lasted through generations than the people today where it's somewhat easy. I'm not saying it's all the way easy, but it's somewhat easier to be a star today. Today you just have to have a TikTok song, and if you've got the right marketing and right push behind you, right investments, you could be the biggest thing. Do you get me? So I feel like
been more talent in the water back then. When never like no one.
They're there to fight for their lives.
Till this day, no one ain't doing a Michael Jackson.
But you know what's so interesting as well? You know, like when you look at even artists today, when you look at when they first started, I'm sorry, but you see the Wizkid back then, when Wizkid was hungry, whining his waist on the stage, his rent was due. His rent was absolutely due. But again, I feel like it's that effect though, because people aren't, but then, yeah, because people aren't passing out like that at concerts, I don't think. If anything, it's probably heat stroke.
No one ain't passing out at no concerts.
Nah, they're not. I mean, festivals people pass out, but that's because it's hot. and they've been there all day, and they want to be at the front. So you know they got there when they opened the door.
I don't think there's anybody that's got maybe again
Who's got that
someone like
effect?
Taylor Swift, but I don't know because
Yeah,
because of the
Taylor
fanfare
be-
that I see, but I haven't been there
Actually,
to
no.
But if
Beyonce's
I
got
could
that.
probably put it in, huh?
Beyonce's got that effect.
She works too much as well. By this time, they've all seen her 10 times. How many times they fainting?
Do you know what's so mad? So basically, when her last album, not the country album one, the Renaissance, that's when I found out that apparently people that are proper beehive, they have a beehive saving pot. As in, they've been saving money for years
Yeah, but they're crazy.
in the event that. But that's the Michael Jackson
No,
effect.
but they're like the girls from Swams.
No, but that's the effects though, because
Michael Jackson was different. He had Chinaman fainting.
no, but that's
different.
But that's no, but have you not seen people in Korea and them singing Beyonce? But I feel like it's still the effect there because I would look at people that are passing out at Michael Jackson as eggs. Like that's silly to me. That's silly to me. But in the same way, the beehive who are saving money and doing all these things, that's also silly to me. I actually think Beyonce is one who's got the Michael Jackson effect.
The artists that you've been naming have had some sort of cultural
Girl.
impact worldwide, and it was due to, I guess, stresses in race. You mentioned Bob Marley. You've mentioned Fela. You've mentioned Michael Jackson. You've also mentioned Kendrick. Maybe that's the common theme.
What like the
Not oppression, but
The
some
struggle,
sort
like
of, yeah.
Social commentary. Yeah.
So what are you saying? Like a lot of the big stars are made, the ones that come out in a time when there's a lot of social issues.
Some sort of unrest. So they are kind of championed.
But
past
Beyonce's
music.
not revolutionary though, is she? In her content, in her yeah, she's
I think that she stands for
maybe what she stands for personally.
feminism.
Maybe what she stands for personally, and it's all part of the brand, so it's all ties in hand. But I'm saying like her music is not. She's not messaging. She's not.
Beyonce brought sexy back. She actually did.
That was Justin Timberlake.
No, it wasn't. He's cancelled. Beyonce brought sexy back. When Beyonce released that Beyonce album, and people were seeing her in a light that they've never ever seen her, where she was like all sexy and blah 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 blah. That definitely did a thing for feminism and whatnot.
But her content though, her music is not being played at marches. And
You think who run the world? Girls. Sorry, not women. Girls.
slut walk.
Not the slut walk.
No?
That is going off in
Oh, sorry.
female
That
gatherings.
is monumental, to be honest. That is a movement.
To be fair, that is a movement actually.
She is an icon to women worldwide.
Yeah. Yeah,
And there
like
is-
Rihanna though is,
Yeah.
and the music is, and even as musicians, they're different levels, and like I'm saying, they're not doing the same thing. It's for different reasons. It's not the same. Like you're saying, Bob Marley and Fela, and
What does Rihanna represent to women?
a badness, isn't it?
Not just that though.
I don't know.
It's
Sort
still-
of woman.
It's didn't she go up another gear when she released the Fenty line?
I'm guessing so.
She went up. I feel like that's what. Even with that, I feel like that's one of the most iconic things that's ever happened in the beauty industry. Like she had all these brands that have existed for years upon years. She had all of them fix up. That's one of the most iconic. That's the iconic
So
thing.
she dropped the equalizer.
Yeah.
That still speaks to the same theme or thread. And Amy Winehouse, when she came through, if it is that she was still around now, she would also be up there.
Amy's cold though. But every so often you get
Adele?
a talent. Yeah, Adele's generational. Adele can talk.
She
Adele
cut
can
through
talk to
everything.
anyone
Yeah.
in history.
She will cut through
Anyone from history.
And hers was,
any
hers was even a
time.
bigger thing because she was plus size.
Adele's one of
They
my
went checking for them.
Adele's one of my goats. Like top girl.
She's elite.
For like any of them that's ever
Her
sung,
music
she
is
can talk to
staying
them.
here till when the earth
Yeah,
passes
but she's
away.
cold. But how many Adeles do you get, or Amy's? You don't get them every so often. Every generation is gonna have a few of them because it's only right. But they're not. But I feel like there was bare of them back in the day.
But was there really though?
I don't know about
Back
that.
in the day, within a particular generation, because you can't necessarily
Motown.
group.
It was just concentrated. It was concentrated. We now have social media. I can guarantee you there are a few more Adeles out there that you don't know about currently.
But that's the point. We don't know about them. There was bare people doing their thing. If we don't know about them, what's it matter?
I don't know why I said that. What point does that even prove? What?
Like, yeah, there's gal and man in their bedroom now in the in the middle of buttfuck nowhere with the best voices.
Yeah.
We've never heard.
Yeah. But this is how this guy cut through. Eminem cut through that way too, didn't he?
He came up on a come out of nowhere thing, the battle rap thing and opportunities and
What's that fella's name? The one who he started off in R&B / hip hop and then he went completely rock.
Rock.
Is it white?
Yeah, he's white.
Macklemore.
No, not him.
No?
He's not a rapper. He's a singer.
Okay.
I'll find his name for you. Because he's got tattoos and whatnot, and he takes bare drugs, and on stage he's like, got a fantastic voice.
Oh,
Post Malone.
Post Malone.
Oh.
I was
Yeah,
not
Post
gonna say
Malone.
him.
When he said on stage with drugs, I was like,
There's a lot of them.
Post. Nah, he's been high.
I thought, yeah.
He's been high. Trust me. And is that what it is? Is he gone totally rock? Because I don't hear none of his stuff no more. I don't.
Yeah, he's gone kind of soft rock and whatnot. It doesn't have that ember of R&B or hip hop anymore.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, fame.
Does
Yeah,
it?
no,
though?
makes sense why I
How many
don't.
days did that through
Makes
trauma?
sense.
Why
Makes sense
it's
why I
not
don't
on your
hear.
radar
His,
anymore.
why I don't hear his music no more. Yeah, that's it.
Then the Weeknd's vocal wise, whew.
Weekend's cold though.
Whew.
Weekend's cold. He's cold. He's a top talent.
But there will be more of the same next generation.
Yeah.
100% there will be.
More of the same,
they
but less of the same.
I believe they will lean
No, you get what I'm saying? There'll be
into-
more of the same, but it'll be less of it.
Talk to me.
Because it's more. Every generation you're gonna get someone that can cross generations and be dope and rich to the tail. But it's gonna be less of them.
I think it depends on what the powers that be give time to and resources to.
Yeah.
Obviously, right now it's more so they are kind of divesting from the powers that be because they don't need it anymore because of TikTok and independence and masters and whatnot, whatever. But there could be a repackaging of how it's delivered. You might have a company saying, "All right, cool, the structure is completely different. We can't do what it is that we used to do because those who are now making up this particular infrastructure, we are the children of the enlightened." Right? So they then say, we would just focus on making sure the world gets all these fantastic voices, minus all of the, the efferys. And that's when it is you're going to have a resurgence, the good.
Yeah, it could be like
Because there will always be appetite
renaissance.
for it.
There could be a renaissance.
Once you, when Ashake came out, I didn't lose hope for Afrobeats. But he brought that good. You see, I don't know.
So, like, you've never been involved in the conversation. I don't know why you're losing hope.
Give him flowers.
You never even had.
I wanted to give him flowers.
Yeah,
You understand? And
there
the
we go.
song that he brought back,
Was
that
lit.
was pure.
Yeah.
And everybody's loving it.
Yeah.
So it's just how it's basically packaged
But that's the thing though.
and delivered.
Because even from an Afrobeat standpoint, he brought in a sound that is more of a replica of Afrobeats like back in the day. So, because there's a new sound at the moment and whatnot, but he brought in a new sound influenced by the traditional Afrobeats. So,
Look at my piano. House music.
basically, yeah.
Just put some drums on that. Bass. New mixing and mastering methods.
South Africans, I just think we just avoid South African subjects
I'm
for the
telling
most
you.
part.
Class is permanent. Arsenal.
That's such an egg.
All right, people. I guess we can wrap it up there.
All right, let's get into more headlines.
All right, people. Apparently, rogue employers will be targeted by a beefed up new enforcement agency to protect sweeping changes to rights at work for millions of Britons, set to be outlined in a new watershed bill, which is published on Friday. So the Fair Work Agency will be created as part of the government's employment rights legislation, which will include stronger protections against unfair dismissal and exploitative contracts. Officers will have inspection powers and will be able to enforce new penalties for those who breach employee rights, such as holiday pay and minimum wage. And whistleblowers will be encouraged to report bad behaviour to the new body. Its powers will not be limited to the new rights, but will also enforce a range of current rights, including the national minimum wage and certain aspects of the Modern Slavery Act. The Deputy PM, Angela Rayner, was speaking to The Guardian, and she said that the bill was a watershed moment, describing it as the biggest overhaul of workers' rights in generations. She also said this is a government by a working people, for working people, and our purpose is crystal clear: to make work pay. Next headline, Great Ormond Street Hospital recently launched a review of the care of 721 children treated by a consultant orthopedic surgeon, Yasser Jabbar. Now it has emerged that the investigation has been widened to include 4 more London-based hospitals where Mr. Jabbar worked. The hospital commissioned an external review of its paediatric orthopedic service in 2022 after concerns were raised by a number of our patient families and staff. It said that the review, which is conducted by the RCS, the Royal College of Surgeons, raised concerns regarding the medical practice of an orthopedic surgeon. In the light of the findings, Great Ormond Street Hospital said that it would commission a review of the care given to all patients seen by the surgeon. Of the first 37 cases reviewed by the independent experts from the other hospitals, 22 children were found to have come to some degree of harm, including 13 deemed to have come to severe harm. Next headline, and a new poll of 3 crucial states shows that the 2024 race deadlocked while Kamala Harris's momentum grinds to a crawl. Harris trails Trump in 2 Midwestern battlegrounds, Michigan and Wisconsin, dragged down by concerns about her ability to manage America's role in global crisis. This is according to a Quinnipiac poll that was released yesterday. In both states, she's behind by low single digits, 50% to 47% in Michigan and 48% to 46% in Wisconsin. So, of course, the lead's not that big. And all 3 states are part of the Blue Wall, states which, from 1992 to the Trump era, supported Democrats every single cycle, and Trump won all 3 in 2016. The vice president's greatest polling drag appears to be her numbers on the war in the Middle East, where voters in all 3 states have, by considerable margins, less confidence in her leadership abilities than Donald Trump's. The greatest gulf is in Michigan, home to substantial Arab Americans, Palestinian Americans, and Muslim communities. Harris trails her opponent by 10 points on the issues over there, 53% to 43%. And that's it for our headlines. Time to pay them bills.
Let's get somewhere on the road. All right, what are we talking about today? Okay, so I mentioned it briefly yesterday. Jaguar Wright. Oh, Brent, you watched it? Oh no, the interview's not out yet. I think it's out today.
Okay, I'll watch it.
But I watched another interview. I watched the one that they postponed it for. Sorry. I'm actually a Jaguar stan, you know. They can never make me hate her. I can't hate her. They can never make me hate this woman. I refuse. Anyways, and I'm also hoping that the thing with Orlando Brown, the whole Matrix and the whole Terminator thing, was sarcasm. I'm praying so.
Yeah, I want to know if it is that he was basically calling her an oracle.
Do you know what's funny? Because basically, before he talks about, you know, she wrote the Matrix, he asked him a question about, do we think that, are people being programmed? So I feel like they were trying to show how easy it is to program people and how people would just lap anything up. No. Because when they were saying it, the guy behind the camera, they pissed me off. They're just like,
That's what I was doing it.
Well, I'm glad you said it. So anyway, I'm going to watch the interview. They can never make me hate Jaguar Wright. If there was a GoFundMe to get her personal security, I'm 100% donating in it. I'm 100% giving money to make sure sis is kept safe. I like her.
You know what? TDA community, if anybody knows Jaguar Wright, please put us in contact.
I would love to have her
to
on.
bring her on the show.
I would love to have her. And you know what gets me, by the way, is the pauses she goes to let that sink in. She would say something like up is up and down is down. Did you know that? Love her. Anyway, she was on Piers Morgan last week. And when she was on there, she was there to talk about Diddy, you know. She was there to talk about Diddy, but she was just like, do you know what? Diddy's a small fish. The bigger fish that needs to be got is Jay-Z. Sean Carter. That's how she always says. Basically, anyway, she's basically said that he's a monster. He's done worse. He's a monster, alleged this and that, and Beyonce and whatever else, blah, 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 blah. And it cut along, and to be fair, when they were there, obviously, Piers Morgan's aware of the situation, but he looked very intrigued to me. And that man is never quiet for any guests, as far as I've seen. I don't watch his show, but he just irritates the shit out of me. But there he was, listening attentively at this spokesperson that apparently knows a lot of black matters. Cut long story short, the Carter's lawyer basically gave, what's his name? Piers Morgan and them an ultimatum. So the lawyer spoke to, I think something Shapiro or something like that, spoke to TMZ, the TMZ brothers. I don't know if they're brothers, but they just give me brothers vibes, so I'm going to call them brothers. And he basically said how, because they were like, yeah, but like, they haven't really said anything, blah, blah, blah. But he was just like, listen, he was like, it was irresponsible, it was this or that. He's like, cut a long story short, it wasn't a cease. He said he's seen publications talk about it's a cease and desist. It's not that. It was just a simple, take it down. Do you know what's so funny? They didn't even ask him to apologize, you know? They just asked him to take it down. And Piers Morgan went a step further and apologized. He didn't apologize to Meghan Markle, though. Anyway, they basically said that either he takes it down, removes it, or the court will ask him to do that. And obviously, he did not want to go through that route. So Piers Morgan basically, he said, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during the interview. He said, as I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact. We've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. He says editing interviews is not something we typically... Why has it jumped? Hold on. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly on a show called Uncensored, but like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too, and we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce. And so when you go back to the interview now, Jaguar's segment is not there. So, interesting. He also then went on, like later, the day after on the show, to talk about why he invited Jaguar on the show. And he says, the reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. So he's basically trying to justify why he invited her. But she, on Them show page, where her and Orlando Brown's thing is going to come out, she actually talked about the Piers Morgan and stuff, and she talked about they reached out to her. So she was minding her business, and they reached out to her, basically, to invite her to come down. And she thought, okay, I'm going to go. So there's that. The day we never thought would ever see, Piers Morgan apologise and cut a segment of a show. Interesting. What is next? Oh, Dr. Dre, trigger warning. Oh, actually, not so much in this, but it's Dr. Dre, so he's a trigger anyway, allegedly. He's being sued, basically. There's a $10 million lawsuit against him by his ex-marriage counsellor, who basically helped him and his ex-wife separate. The guy's name is Dr. Charles Sophie, and he's a basic psychiatrist, and he's claiming that, or he's alleging that Dr. Dre has been sending him abusive and threatening messages. He says like a year and a few months, I think a year and a couple months after, a year and 2 months after the divorce was finalized, which was finalized December 2021, he says that he started receiving messages from Dr. Dre, basically blaming him and accusing him of speaking, of essentially like giving false information and whatnot to the media. He says that he called him a piece of shit. He says that he will make him pay for that. He calls him a bitch. He also, so basically that he said that he also had, Dr. Dre allegedly had people pose as FBI and come to his house and basically threaten him, and they threatened to harm him and whatever, dressed in FBI uniform. And so he's basically suing him for harassment and stuff like that. But then Dr. Dre's lawyer is basically saying that he's only filing this lawsuit because apparently Dr. Dre was going to report him to the board because they felt like he had been unprofessional. Dr. Dre's lawyer is alleging that basically the doctor would tell, basically the doctor kind of got himself involved in an unprofessional manner in the whole family matter. I think he was a psychiatrist for his children as well, for Dr. J's children and whatnot. So apparently, like, he was trying to make the kids take sides. He was trying to encourage his son to go out and to the media and say certain things to the media and whatnot. So basically, his lawyers are alleging that Dr. Charles is suing because he wasn't able to get Dr. Dre to not go to the board, or that to drop. Basically, didn't pressure him to not go to the board, basically. Ugh, everyone's silly. But yeah, that's what's going on Dr. Dre's front door. But he gets away with a lot of stuff, so yeah, we'll see what happens. One of Diddy's accusers, her ex-boyfriend, has come out to say that she is lying and she allegedly tried to bribe him to corroborate her story. So she's one of the people, she's not one of the 120 or anything like that, but she's someone who claims that she's the one who's suing Diddy and his security. I think I remember reporting about that actually at the time. She's the one suing Diddy and his security. Her name's Talia Graves, and basically her ex-boyfriend is alleging that she basically said that she basically said to her boyfriend that she's going to go after Diddy's the one with money, basically, and yeah. And basically offered him $3 million if he can corroborate her story. TMZ is claiming that they've seen text messages and whatnot. The guy's claiming that straight after that he blocked her and he deleted her and whatever else. But yeah, I don't know why it's come out now though. But anyway, but that's what's happening. But then obviously her lawyer is saying that this is something that happens. Like, this is what happens with it's basically what she said. She said it's very common that my bad, tongue slip. It is very common that rich, powerful men and their supporters attempt to discredit, shame, and humiliate accusers who have the courage to come forward. The complaint speaks for itself. Our client is looking forward to her day in court. Yeah, so obviously they're denying that it's a lie. They're denying that the lie is a lie, basically. And yeah, so that's what's happening. And then in further news, trigger warning on this, trigger warning up and down the place. But basically, young Philly has been arrested in Australia. Why have you got a picture up?
I've got the article here. It has some information. I'm not sure if you have it.
As in, okay, let me see what I'm saying, and you can fill in the gap. But yeah, so basically, young Philly has basically been arrested in Australia on suspicion, again, trigger warning, of raping a woman in a hotel. So basically, the charges against him, he's being charged with 4 counts of sexual penetration without consent, 3 counts of assault, and 1 count of impede a person's normal breathing or circulation by applying pressure to the next strangulation. And then basically he had a show on the 29th. So this situation they're saying happened on the 29th of September. It's 28th of September, sorry. The 27th. Because he had a club booking or whatever. So they're saying this happened after the club booking. He's currently in custody. He's going to be appearing in the magistrate court today. He was actually somewhere else in Australia, and then he got transferred over to the other place.
He's been granted bail.
He's been granted bail?
Yeah,
okay.
So let me just read this.
But can you leave when you can't leave the country though, can you?
Well, there's stipulations attached to this particular bail release. So trigger warning, let me just read this. Warning, this story contains details some readers may find distressing, including details about an alleged sexual assault. Yeah. A UK rapper has been granted bail after being charged with raping and choking a Perth woman in his hotel room while on his Australian tour. The YouTuber and musician, his name, also known as Young Philly, is accused of sexually assaulting a woman in his Perth hotel room after performance in the city's north last month. WA police arrested the 29-year-old in Brisbane before he was extradited to Perth. Police opposed his request to be released from custody at his first appearance in the Perth Magistrates Court today, but magistrates Magistrate Tanya Watt did not agree with prosecutors that Mr. Risk of
I didn't say his
fleeing
name. His name's out there.
Baron, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Andre.
Barian
it-
Chos?
No, what's his first name?
Andres.
Andres. That's it.
But it's not.
Oh,
written
it's his
there.
last
I'm
name
just
on
reading
there.
it. Yeah, I'm just
Oh,
reading
okay, fair.
It was all day. Just went over it the first time.
Oh, fair.
it. Risk of fleeing the state and potential. You're right. And potential to interfere with witnesses. Let me just compose myself.
Good idea.
And potential to interfere with witnesses could not be managed. She granted him bail but imposed strict conditions that included a ban on contacting his alleged victim or posting on social media about the case to his millions of followers. He must also stay in Western Australia, report daily to police, and post a personal $100,000 cash shorty.
Flipping out. That's insurity. So he's up there. Imagine the case. Obviously, Australia's not like England, but imagine the case dragged on and they told him can't get in court till next year. So he's got to stay in Australia.
But who pays for that?
Right.
What do you mean? He pays for his stay.
Yeah, like, you know.
What his
Sounds silly,
accommodation?
but yeah, but if I know, but obviously because he asked for bail. Yes, because he asked for bail. Yeah, but I'll go back to jail.
I get what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean? If the case is next year and I'm paying hotel bills every day, take him back to jail. That's free.
I don't know what the criminal system's like in Australia, so I don't know. It might be if it's heathen or if there's space, he might be all right. But
I reckon he'll be alright. He has money for hotels, no?
I'm saying
But legal
we're
and
in
everything.
October now. Imagine they say to him the court date's not set. Let's just say March.
A lot of money.
Again, I'm
He has to stay
I
in
think
Perth.
he's alright.
I mean, everybody's gonna be all right, but still, you don't want to. Who wants to piss that money up the wall?
I don't think he wants to be in
I
jail.
don't know how alright he'll be though. 5 months, you can't work because you can't make that money back in any way. So it has to
But
be.
he
whatever
creates
you've currently
content,
got.
so he can shoot online. He can create content.
He's not allowed to post online on socials. That's one of his things. He
No, he's
can't-
not allowed to post about the
About
case.
that, yeah.
He can post content.
I don't
There's
wanna
no
see
way he's creating content.
podcasts from him.
There's no way.
Imagine him streaming, doing what's it called, remote with on Zoom with junks. Nobody's trying to hear that.
Alright,
So,
let's get back into
Proper, I'm a
the
celebrity.
Yeah,
to
get back
me.
in the
let's
car.
get back into the car.
Get me out of there. So,
Dead ass.
Compose. It's alleged the 29-year-old sexually assaulted a woman in her 20s in his Perth hotel room after he had performed at the nightclub bar. I've already read that. The 29-year-old has been charged with 4 counts of sexual penetration without consent and 3 counts of assault. Sorry, there's distractions happening in the studio.
Iman, can you step outside?
Exactly.
You're disrupting the show.
The 29-year-old has been charged with 4 counts of sexual penetration without consent and 3 counts of assault occasioning bodily harm. He's also facing a charge of impeding a person's normal breathing or circulation by applying pressure to the neck. Mr. Was casually dressed in a grey jumper and spoke only to acknowledge his name and the charges against him. He was represented in the Perth Magistrates Court this morning by top-flight Perth barrister Seamus, who successfully argued for bail. WA Police Prosecutor Julius had opposed that application, alleging there was an extremely strong prosecution case supported by CCTV and photographic evidence. He said Mr. Was no ordinary accused, but someone with significant influence and reach, with a combined following on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok of more than 8 million accounts. Mr. DiPietro said this.
No, you know, no one can hear that. Like, no one on the show can hear that. They can only hear your silence.
My mic is right by the door, and it's distracting me.
Okay.
Can you close it up, please? Thank you. Mr. DiPietro said this meant the risk of interference with a witness could not be alleviated by the usual protective bail conditions given the accused influence. This has already made headlines, he said. Given nature of social media, nature of people jumping on bandwagons, given the nature of the power imbalance between the parties. 3 men who appeared to have links to Andre were in the public gallery during his appearance, but declined to speak to the media outside the court. A number of young people who said they were fans also sat in the public gallery, telling the ABC outside court that they wanted to hear the allegations for themselves. Mr. DiPietro told the court Mr. Andre was a flight risk given he had no links to Western Australia. He said he was only on tour in Australia and usually lived in the UK but was originally from Colombia. He said Andre had access to large amounts of cash from his media account revenue, generating $700,000 from his YouTube and TikTok accounts alone. There is no guarantee given his significant means we will be able to bring him back to face these charges, Mr. DiPetro said. Now, the prosecutor also provided the magistrate with photos that were not shown to the court, which he said went to the question of consent. In reference to what the photos depicted, the prosecutor said no ordinary person can consent in those circumstances.
What the hell was he doing?
Across her body is a history of violent acts. We say those photos and what is alleged is beyond the pale, beyond what could be considered to be a consensual act.
Oh, they're saying that's from the recent pictures that they got now.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Mr. Rafferty rejected the suggestion that his client's status as a global influencer meant ordinary bail conditions were not adequate, and to suggest so runs contrary to principles that all people are equal before the law. He said if bail was not granted, his client faced spending up to 2 years in
That's
Perth's
it.
notorious Hakia prison, where he suggested rolling lockdowns of 23 hours were an almost daily occurrence. This, in combination with his client's effective social isolation in Perth, would be onerous, Mr. Rafferty suggested. He also opposed a suggestion by the prosecution that his client be banned entirely from posting online, arguing that eradicating access to social media in the modern age was entirely unrealistic, particularly in light of the fact his client's income arose from that source. He also requested the material facts of the case not be read in open court, claiming this could prejudice his client's right to a fair trial. Mr. Rafferty questioned the strength of the prosecutor's case, claiming the complainant did not raise any concerns about sexual assault during a call with a friend at 5:31 a.m. He said the issue of intoxication would be a significant matter at trial. Magistrate Tanya Watts accepted a written submission in the matter rather than having the facts read. Mr. DiPetro started his Australian tour in Perth and went on to perform in Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane, where he was arrested.
Damn.
Jesus.
Morning, girl.
Morning.
That's wild, man. That's just...
I'm not too sure if I missed it, yeah, or it wasn't clear, whatever. He's facing 2 years on remand, yeah? Mm-hmm. Or is it 2 years prison sentence if he's found guilty?
No, I think from that passage, what that sounded like was if he doesn't get bail, he's going to potentially be on remand for 2 years. For 2 years.
For 2 years. Oh, I
Because that can't be the sentence. He's got to get
I thought that was
trialed.
the sentence. I was thinking, wow, this is...
You can't do that. He's got to have his day in court. He's got to get trialed, innit? So you can't just make that assumption and say that. He's saying that... It's just speaking to what I was saying, that how long the case will be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? But again, even I don't know where you plucked that 2 years from, but say it is 2 years, Brent, and he's on bail and his conditions are that he's got to stay there and check in daily. So he's got to be in Australia for 2 years.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
If you get a quicker court date, staying in, like being a resident of the jail, I'll just go back in.
It would be cheaper.
Just what I'm saying.
I don't think he would do that. Especially
You're talking
if
like
he
it's
has the
Thailand, though.
resources.
You're talking like it's Thailand, though, Bali. I mean, I know they were saying
I
there's
don't know what you're
notorious or
saying.
that, but how
I
bad
really
jail in
don't know what you're
Australia
saying.
going to
There's
be?
no way he chooses jail as opposed to...
Yeah, but it's an English-speaking
outside.
country. What I'm saying is, how bad is jail in Australia going to be?
Because what's he going to do outside?
They probably have barbecues.
I'm not sure what you're saying. He
What?
has money to burn and he's going
He
to
hasn't got...
spend the time
you know
in
what?
jail?
Why if
Do
he's
you know
got
what
money
it is?
to burn,
You
I
haven't got money to burn on a 2-year case.
Like, no one's
I'm
got
not
money
sure
to
what
burn
you're
like
saying
that.
to me.
You got to keep your lawyer on remand. First of all, he's paying all the legal fees and whatever else. He ain't got money to burn like that. Even millionaires ain't trying to burn money like that.
Yeah, like he's probably got the money to get it done. Cool, but
actually,
like,
I will
he's
run
not trying.
around
No one
working
ain't trying to
for
do that.
Yeah, that's
So
a
I'm
lot
not,
of money.
So what are you saying? What is it that you're saying?
Cheaper for him to go to jail.
Sorry, are you saying he's going to choose that?
No, I'm guessing he's paid.
Yeah.
Wouldn't he have
Are
to?
you saying yes?
Yeah. I think he will choose jail, you know.
Wouldn't he have to surrender his passport and all that?
Yeah, he does.
They don't want him to flee.
Yeah, he has to give in his passport.
But that's why he's got. But even so, he's got the resources. Even with him giving in his passport, he's got enough money to get out of there.
Oh, I see what you mean now.
You just have to use different means. Stop
I
the
see
boats.
what you mean.
What do you think I mean?
That you don't think he should go to jail, just use his resources to just
Cut out.
out.
No, Brent, man. Is that what you're saying?
If not, what?
No, what are you saying?
No.
You're just saying.
No, Brent is
use
saying
the
that.
peas to
Of course,
stay
he
in
wouldn't. Like,
Airbnb.
he's not gonna rather. He's not gonna. He wouldn't stay in jail while he waits for his hearing. It makes more like he would choose to be free, somewhat free, while he waits for his hearing.
Yeah.
Question.
Charges are mad though.
All of the candidates in this room, you have the status of Young Philly, you have the accounts on social media where it's generating money on your post content. You're still getting a flipping paycheck every single month, right? Regardless of whether it is you create content or not. And you're now facing this predicament. Do you choose jail or do you choose to save money?
Okay, it depends how much money I got.
Sorry, do you choose jail or do you choose to basically live without being caged for the 2 years?
That's what I'm saying. To you.
I choose freedom.
Every single time you choose freedom, right? Because you've been to jail.
It's how rich is he though?
I've been in prison.
What I need to know is is TMB covering my legal bills because you guys miss me so much? You want me?
No. Contract stipulated.
That's
You
what
were
I'm saying.
supposed to basically.
I'm going to jail.
Sign up.
I'm going to jail, bro.
All right, so you
Free
choose
rent.
jail. You choose jail, yeah?
Yeah, because I'm already here. I'm
Okay,
already
cool.
here.
I got a question. Sorry, user.
I haven't gone around the room yet. So you choose jail. You choose freedom.
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 I think in most circumstances, I would choose freedom, especially at this point in my life, innit? If I was younger, I'll go jail.
What?
Yeah. Right now,
know?
at this time in my life,
I heard
this
that.
time in my life, no.
Do you hear that?
Well, if he was younger, he said, "Can risk it." Yeah, of course.
Actually, no, I would choose freedom so I can get my affairs in order.
You got the time. You can take it. 2 years. I'm 21.
But then,
Take
do you
it.
know what you were talking about?
come
How
on, 23.
he generates money on social media. Looking at the allegations, would they still allow that? Because I know in some cases they stop your YouTube earnings, right?
I don't know. Well, to be honest, it depends on the.
Depends how big it is, because YouTube could demonetize it.
Yeah.
Possible, yeah.
Wow.
But they will, yeah.
Like what they done to Russell Brand.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
They could demonetize him if
Until
they wanted. If it gets high profile enough and it makes enough noise, they could demonetize him. He's gonna be in trouble with brands. Brands are gonna pull out of some deals and stuff. There's some of the up and coming stuff that he had out the window. But obviously, he can still make his own money. But if YouTube demonetize him, he'd be a little bit screwed.
But that would be if
I want to wait, child.
even if it hasn't been convicted yet, that's what they would do.
They demonetized Russell Brand.
Well, Russell
He
Brand.
weren't convicted. It was just a story in the news.
Yeah.
No, but they heard on the other side.
What?
As in like the accusers.
Oh, they
Yeah.
heard, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, but then even that, what does that
from
mean
the
though?
accuser.
Is there still
Mendy
for lack of a better word, it's still
Mendy-
hearsay?
Mendy got suspended from Man City before we heard what the accuser had to say. You get the case. All that stuff.
But even the brands he works with and stuff as well, they might react.
The Man City knew about what the flipping accusations were.
We know what these accusations are.
You said he got suspended before he got what?
No, you said before we heard from the witnesses, before we heard the other side.
No, Man City heard that information. They would have been privy to that information.
We've got privy to information. We've heard the
No,
other
the
side.
point that you were making is now mute
Why?
because Man City would have known the information. YouTube doesn't know the information yet.
Yeah, but you know what it is though? Usually though, when you have cases like this, they're not telling you like, because with his case, it's a lot of detail about the marks in the body and all that kind of stuff. You don't typically get such graphic.
Yeah.
Because it sounds as though like the evidence they've got, bro, it's just a matter of having the case and that's that.
I thought it was just a bit of rough sex that went wrong.
Yeah.
And maybe she not tried to capitalise it, but from what they're saying of the pictures and beyond
And the
the
CCTV
pale,
footage and all that kind of stuff. So this is enough for brands to be like, yeah, we're not going to be involved. But
And
I get what Mark's
yeah.
saying because brands don't typically wait to hear from the accusers because sometimes that can be hidden as well. Yeah. Sometimes no one ever gets to hear that side. So, but brands can react straight off the accusation when it's this grave. Do you get me? It's different when it's like, if it's Chinese whispers, that's different. But when you've been arrested, when they're saying this and that and whatever, yikes, man.
So in the court of public opinion, what he's doing, he's treating him like he's guilty already.
Me?
Everyone, I'm asking.
But do you know what it is though?
There's obviously these cases are not nice. You're gonna have a certain disdain for it. But I'm saying, are you prepared to just push it on him already without even hearing what's going on or what happened or anything?
I typically don't do that. I like to, take it to court and all that sort of stuff. And then when the court said this person's guilty, then the person did it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm out.
Today's going to be busy online. You're going to hear
Yeah, I
stories.
stand with you,
You're
man.
going to hear, they're going to bring up old stuff. They're going to do.
But this is the thing,
They're
though.
already coming out like when I
But
met
do you know
him.
what's
They're gonna
mad
go to
though?
town.
The old stuff that's come out, that's going to be coming out, is not old stuff that people have just gone out of nowhere. There's been a thing on TikTok for months now about him, talking about him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
As in not
for months.
Yeah, for months. It's been quite a lot.
There's been like women like there's just been stuff. I'm not gonna say, I wouldn't say to this level.
Extent.
Yeah,
I haven't
of
really
course,
paid attention to the stuff in detail, but there's definitely been things that's questioned his character, and not just like you're a shit person.
It's gonna be bad, but that's what it mostly is. It's gonna be bad, and there's gonna be a pylon on Philly because he's got a bad reputation in it. And I don't mean for like sexual assault and stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I wouldn't be privy to that kind of information. But there are stories that come out about his attitude, his temperament to stuff, like his, like, you know what I'm trying to say, like the way he deals with people, whether it be on sets or with gal, or the way he talks to people and his attitude and stuff like that. So I've heard stuff like that about him. So where that's already out there, people don't like him. It's going to be easy to.
Unfortunately, it's the way society, isn't it?
Suppose.
Like, yeah, personally, when people come out and say they've been sexually assaulted, I do not believe them. I believe them, and if anything else comes after that, then fair enough. But
yeah, I think when it comes to
that's
sexual
my thing.
assault, you have to start backwards.
I start backwards. I feel like there's just certain things you have to start backwards. Pedophilia, I'm starting backwards. There's just certain things. I can never be shamed for starting
people
backwards.
Are crazy. You know what it is? For real, I hear you. I think everybody's got it. It's hard. I can't just go straight to. There is some of that ain't smoke without fire stuff and whatnot.
100%.
But people really do crazy.
But you know what's so funny though?
That don't make sense. And also people change their mind a lot.
Do you know what it is? I hear what you're saying, but when we look at the stats, there's more. It did happen than it didn't.
Yeah,
For me, that's what justifies me starting backwards anyway.
Like sometimes people change their mind a lot, where it's like we could be in the moment doing something here, and whatever whatever lines are blurred or whatever, but we was doing that there and then someone changed their mind after the fact, and I'm saying like, okay, cool, but like in this moment, I didn't do anything, like we was in this together,
Moment,
like you know what I'm trying to say, like
you know what's
whatever
interesting
happened,
about stuff like
it got allowed and whatnot, and then now after the fact now, I'm being real about it, and the things that it's fucked up because the things that you're saying kind of did happen, but we did that, like this is what we was doing.
Do you know what's interesting about things like that though? Is that's your POV. Your POV is that, oh, like we were doing things in the member, blah blah blah. You don't know how the other person felt. There's a lot of guys. Even when you think back now, guys just be like, oh, just a tip. That's coercing somebody to want to have sex with you. Like it's somebody who is not, someone who is not, for lack of a better word, 'cause I'm not trying to blame victims or whatever, but if you're not someone that's very confident, outspoken, you go along with it. Sex shouldn't be something that you just go along with. And the number of women that will be online and that would tell you that they just went along with it, just, let me just get it over and done with because it was pressuring me, blah, blah. Wait. Rape isn't something that's always, it's not always a violent act. It's not always, doesn't always come with bruises and stuff like that. If you're having to persuade somebody to do that,
that could be taken any way, like, you know what I'm trying to say, like, 'cause just like you've got the right to consent, like it's a consensual act that we're doing, like, yeah, I'm here, I'm trying to move to you, I want this transaction, I've got the right to try and convince you, like, it's not.
But you shouldn't be trying to convince anyone to have sex with you though.
But that's the game though. You convince people to date you. You convince people. Like, convince might be the wrong word, but when you're it's the game, when you're flirting and when you're trying to think, this is what you're doing. You're working towards an angle. So I'm totally within my right to try and get this pussy within reason. The only time the way we don't like it is when you try and force it and take it. When you physically put in your hands
kind of like
but if I'm verbally just talking, I'm within my rights to use whatever tactics I've got to try and get this pum
when you're
pum.
having sex and people are like, there's like, stop, and then there's stop.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Nah,
but it's
you know what it
still
is,
stop. So I think for men it's like, unless she's screaming stop, how do you know that her stop?
Because she said
is
stop.
like-
But this is the problem there, because the thing, it can't be
Maybe
a thing
I'm
of,
just fucked up.
it can't be a thing of this is the game. Like flirting is very different to, oh no man, look, that's the tip, or oh no man, like when you start doing, like first of all, you loser, why are we doing this? Someone that wants to have sex, like sex should be a very clear thing where you are sure the person wants to have sex with you and you want to have sex with them. It shouldn't be a thing where you're convincing them. It shouldn't be a thing of like, where like, oh, okay, just this or just any of that, because again, you put people in an uncomfortable situation where they feel like, do you know, okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but everybody.
It's about putting people in an uncomfortable situation. So your POV will be like, oh no, but we did that. You were fine with it. However, though, how did I get there? Because you were banging on about it, and I was like, whatever.
When we're at a tipping point, when me and you are chilling in my yard and I'm there trying to chop you, and you're telling me, no, you're not on it, but I'm here with you, I can pick up all the signs. I know
That's
you're
the
on
thing,
me.
you can't
I
pick
know
up
you
on
want to chop me.
signs. It's
I can. But
dangerous.
no, what I'm trying to say is 1 second. Let me done. Yeah, I'm saying I know you're on me. I know you want to chop me. This ain't my first rodeo. I've been there before. I know the reasons why you don't want to chop me. It's because I'm bait. It's because if people find out you go, the reputation that comes with it. You don't want to be seen as a whore. You don't want to do all these things. It's not because you don't want to fuck me. There's a lot of other reasons why it's pushing you back from committing to this right now. And I can identify that. It's a tipping point. You're teetering on the edge. I'm allowed to just give you that little nudge to convince you it's gonna be all right, man. Come and do this.
Focus on the pros. And not
Focus on the pros, not the cons. I'm allowed to do that. That's not coercive or that's just in the moment. I'm
How
allowed
do you
to.
ensure your safety for your integrity as somebody that is quite known? Like, do you think doing that is worth it?
That's the
not,
question I want to ask.
I'm not the feeling needs to be mutual. So I'm not
Okay,
into
yeah,
the
yeah.
chase. You know what I'm trying to say? So you see if I'm with you and I'm fair and I'm trying to finger you and saying stop, don't touch me, and you keep constantly pushing me away. I'm not into all that.
Okay,
That's not
cool,
nice.
cool, yeah.
I'm not here for all of that.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be sitting down with you in my yard and it's a bombardment and I'm constantly trying to
Yeah,
get into
yeah.
your knickers and rare. We're not doing all of that.
Yeah.
It needs to be mutual. I want you to be on me just like I'm on you.
Yeah.
Or what are we doing here? If you don't want me to touch you, I'm not. Why am I fucking? I won't fucking
But
touch you. What are you even doing around me?
But you
Go
know how
away.
you're saying, because like in your predicament, like you are quite known and women are shy. Like how do men of your status like not understand consent, but how do you feel safe?
I don't do anything that I'm gonna get in trouble for.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Like, do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And obviously you're saying that, and you can't. But I believe you can
Yeah.
read the room. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? I believe that you can read the room, and you know whether someone's on you. You know whether it's gonna you know it's me and you in this situation.
But you
We're
know what I
here.
don't
We're
get,
vibes
though?
in.
I don't get why. Like, I don't get why men just don't get clear consent. A woman that wants to sleep with you, a woman that likes you, a woman that wants to be with you, it will be clear as day. When you have to do these things of like, yeah, you're saying no, but I'm reading the vibes and I can tell you're into me. You can't make up the reasons why a woman doesn't want to sleep with you. You can't assume it's because you're bait. You can't assume it's because you think she's gonna be called a whore. Like, you can't make assumptions. And when people start making assumptions, that's where you get in trouble. You can't make these assumptions. If someone wants to sleep, like, I don't understand why we are today and age, all the things that's openly
online
come
and
out
stuff.
now, and you cannot just wait for a very clear, yes, actually, this is what I want to do, or no, this is what I want. Like, I don't understand it. Miss Lisa says, but Marks, you just said persuasion is part of it from the man's point of view, so you're excusing their behavior even though you don't do it.
What? You just said that persuasion is part of it. So I'm excusing their behavior. I'm not. I don't think that's bad behavior.
No, but-
persuasion. I don't think trying to chop a thing's bad behavior.
But that's the thing, though. But being attracted to someone and wanting to sleep with them is not bad behavior.
Yeah.
If you get to the point where you have to persuade someone, convince somebody, or
But when we're using-
pull
when
out
we're using-
a
when-
yes from them,
when we're
that's
using
the
words
problem.
like-
Specify
when-
what you're talking about.
You always
please.
do this to me.
It's important.
No, but you have to,
Okay,
because
cool.
that's what it
Because
sounds
this is-
like.
This is what you're gonna get if you don't be clear with what you're
Okay,
saying.
so I think not to put words in your
No,
mouth.
don't.
but-
No, let him
Yeah.
clarify
Okay.
himself.
Well, how I translated what he was saying is because I think when it comes to sex and consent has to be verbal. But I also feel like even now I'm thinking for myself, like maybe there's something wrong with me, because it's like consent for me is also like based on energy as well. So when it's persuasion, I think when it comes to sex and flirting and stuff, persuasion doesn't always have to be forceful. But I do feel like it is part of the game of the mating.
Yeah, because
So-
when I'm saying you make it sound like it's some coercion or some type of darkness or what I'm talking. I'm not.
Convincing. No, not
it's just
convincing,
like
that's a bit
it's just
mad.
the flirting. It's just the game that we're playing in it. It's just
Yeah.
transactions. So I don't. Obviously, you can highlight the words and try and make it sound crazy, but it's a normal interaction between men and women. It's the song and dance
Yeah.
that we do. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I should. How can I not be within my rights to try and get this over the line? Like, I should be allowed to. Like I said, within the respectful
respect, yeah.
means, within the proper, nothing forceful, nothing
Yeah.
is there. But if I can whisper sweet nothings into you, if I've got some slick lines, if I can make you laugh, whatever I'm allowed to do, I'm within my means to do that, because that's what we're here for. How can that be bad? You know what I'm trying to say? It's like I said, when you're constantly, if you're doing that one, constantly
Yeah.
trying to touch this, no, don't, leave me alone. That's different. I'm not talking about that. And like I said, I don't engage in all that, because I don't think that's not sexy.
Yeah,
To me,
exactly.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so that side of things, I'm not talking about. But I should be allowed to try and chop you.
Yeah.
Like, how not? I don't understand. Because how am I gonna chop you then if I don't try it?
I think, do you know, is that, you know what, it's a good point that I think Brent was basically saying, to be like, okay, make it clear, because
Of course, it's a good point.
no. The reason why I'm saying it is because obviously, like we all know each other in a room, innit? And so, at least for me, I'm hearing you and I'm understanding what you're saying. But I can't take for granted the fact that other people don't. You know what I'm saying? And I think this is why you're getting somebody saying stuff like, "Oh, it's coercion." And in my head, I'm hearing you. I'm thinking, where's the coercion here? Because obviously you're not talking about somebody who doesn't want to be there, who doesn't want you.
Yeah.
You're basically just talking about conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. I don't know, just weighing up the pros and cons of should you eat this donut or not.
Yeah.
You're not trying to say, listen, I don't want to be here. I don't want this donut. Take me home. No, take it. You're not trying to do that.
Yeah.
You're basically saying, ooh, this person's saying, I want this donut too. What do you think? Oh, I don't want to put on weight. Oh, but the taste. You know what I'm saying? It's more so a conversation between people who want to be there and want to be in that moment. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I think it's important for people to recognize though that coercion has things have a scale. With each word, with every verb, there's an extreme and there's a guy who says, "Oh man, come on man, you only blah blah blah," will not see that as him violently coercing her or violently persuading her, but it still is a form of coercion. If you're having to, I just don't understand why men just don't just ask for a simple line, because also I think sometimes guys don't understand is what that woman can change her mind on consent. But some guys don't understand that, where it's like, oh yeah, but 2 minutes ago you were on it. Then when you start the whole, oh, 2 minutes ago you were on it, we're falling into coercion. We're falling into you persuading nah, but then you thought about it 2 minutes. Do you get what I mean? So it's important to realize that yes, there are extremes with words, but also the scale starts from somewhere.
Yeah, 100%. That's a good point.
Morning, everyone.
Morning. Who are we speaking to, please?
Jackie.
Morning, Jackie. How are you?
Morning, Jackie.
Good, thanks. Esther, to your point, I think the words are true in terms of, sorry, your point about words. So there's coercion, there's charming as well. So some girls, I think your guest also is alluding to the fact that some girls actually want to be persuaded. There's a difference between forceful persuasion, but some girls actually like the fact that he wanted me, I didn't want him.
Yeah.
And he made, he wants me more and he's showing it more, kind of thing. And there are girls who do give this definition of consent. There are girls who say stop and they actually don't mean stop. They genuinely mean carry on. Oh, stop. They genuinely mean don't stop. But it's not fair on, I'm not condoning people that do SA that are clearly SAs. But sometimes there's a blurred line with a guy thinking, I didn't think I was SAing her. Yeah. I thought we were on the right track. I thought she came to my room and I led her to my room and I thought we were all on it. I didn't know when she said stop the last time that she actually meant stop, not stop. It's like when you're tickling a child. So now I've taught my daughter, if I'm tickling you and you say stop, I'm going to stop. Yeah. So if you actually want to carry on this game, don't use the word stop. Because we haven't been taught that stop actually means stop all the time. Some people genuinely use stop as a pause or do it in a different way. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not defending SAs, but I think there are some guys who genuinely don't think they are doing that. Many guys don't want to forcefully, have sexual interactions with their partner. But there are times when the lines are blurred and we haven't been taught what the blurred lines are. Right now, we're punishing people for things that they're doing that wasn't punishable before. Yeah. It's completely different if it was, this is no means no, or killing someone is clearly a crime. Everyone knows that from time immemorial. But now there's certain things that are now SA that are criminal that 15 years ago wasn't. So if rather than us teaching people, I'm not saying we should teach people at the expense of a victim, but we're also not giving grace to people that thought and were taught that it is normal.
But that's the problem. I have an issue with that though.
Some people are taught clearly if you rape someone and you force them, that is clear. But there are some blurred lines that men haven't been taught, women haven't been taught to say, if you don't want it, be clear. Don't and ah about it because you give people the wrong stuff. There has to be a time when I'm not blaming people, but women also have to be taught. Like I'm teaching my daughter, if I'm tickling you and you say stop, I'm going to physically stop and I'm not going to carry on the game because I'm teaching her the power of her words. And she don't change your, you say, oh, stop, because she can't breathe because, maybe she wants to pause. I say, use the word pause. Don't say stop because if you stop, I'm not going to play with you anymore. Say pause, let's take a break and let's carry on with the tickling. Do you know what I mean? When we're doing those kind of games, because I want to teach her that stop means stop. And the person shouldn't carry on. So when are we also teaching? I'm not condoning anybody that's essaying, but I'm also saying that we have to teach everybody the words and how powerful words are. We weren't doing that before.
Can I
It
check
wasn't
something,
clear
please?
before.
Because these guys could answer this, but I think I prefer to hear from a woman's point of view. Yeah, obviously it's private, personal question, or whatever, maybe. Yeah. Have you ever been in a situation where you've gone to link a guy, and before you've linked the guy, you've told him, or you've made it clear, nothing's happening, like we're not doing anything like that today, and then when you left the situation, you've done something with him?
Yes.
I just don't go.
But that's how consent works.
No, I'm trying to say, how did you get to that point? Well, because for you telling him that you're not on nothing, you're not gonna do nothing, and you still go to the yard.
Yeah.
How did you get to that point to where you done something? Was he wrong? Is he out of place, trying to coerce, still trying to get the pom pom from you because you gave it to him? How did you get to that point? Was it wrong that he tried? Was he trying to convince? Did he convince you? Did he coerce you? Did he persuade you?
I don't know about you. I don't get
lying?
why you're asking that. I don't get that. Where are you going with that question?
Because I'm just trying to check. Because obviously it takes two to tango, innit? You're saying.
What would you label that type of conversation?
Or what happened in that process? What happened?
But there's different things that could happen.
Was it cool though? Was it cool? Did he persuade you? Did you decide where? Because you're telling me I'm not allowed to try and get the pom pom, but you told me before you came here you wasn't giving it to me. When you left the yard, you gave it to me. What happened in that space of time? Was I in the wrong? Was I in the right? Was it your choice? Was it my choice?
Well, you haven't stipulated what your dialogued in between that time. But what you've just said is that she's changed her mind.
That's
she's
it.
allowed to change her mind.
She's always had to change her mind. Did she change her mind? Did she change her mind because of her or because of
You haven't given me
me?
the detail.
Did she change her mind because of her or because of me?
You didn't say anything.
I'm asking.
But you didn't feed it. Yeah, but give me the information. Give me the information.
I'm saying.
You just omitted a lot.
No, I'm saying for you to tell me, because Jackie said yes, so she can tell me, how did you get to that point? Was it your decision? Was it his decision?
That's a different question.
That was the question I said. How did it happen?
She said yes, she has basically
and
changed her mind.
And I said, how did you get to that point?
The in-between is important.
And that's what I'm asking. How did you get to that point?
I think we're denying that the majority of guys also are thinking like Margs. Margs is vocalizing what the majority of guys think like. So therefore, is either we vocalize and have a dialogue so we can change each other's mind. But the thing is, when you go there, many girls do that. They change their mind. He could have, like Esther said, used the words coerce. He could have charmed her. He did something to convince her positively. But then there are guys who then maybe take it to the next. They cross that line. But it's the line that is blurred that we don't know where that line is. What's the difference between charming and convincing versus coercion? Is it the forcefulness? Is it physical? What is it? Or sometimes
it's who's doing it. It's the person who talks to you, you're feeling them, you like them, they're charming.
Bear in mind, she could also have been the one to initiate.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no,
but
it's asked though.
But that's what I said. Is that you can't ask such a broad question like that because there's 1,001 scenarios
100%.
that happens in between this happening and that happening. But back to what it was that Jackie was saying. I feel like there's been so many information. So, okay, let me even take a step back. Whenever there's a case about a woman being... Sorry,
can I just finish this point? I might have to go through. What I was saying was, some guys might think it's not physical, but Esther, your point was also saying you could have badgered and belabored the point so much that I give in, but you didn't physically force me, but you've convinced me. You've said I'm in an RN and all those things. I'm like, let me just give in. But that girl could then think you've essayed me because you've coerced me to the point that I couldn't say no. But he's there thinking, I've got some slick lines because I didn't actually touch her and she still said yes. And she still gave in and we still got it in the end. So he's not realizing that he's emotionally forced her to do it.
Yeah, I heard that though.
I feel like there's a lot more. There's a lot of
lines blurred. That could happen a lot though.
There's a lot of education that needs to go into consent for sure. But I feel like there's been so many conversations that's happening that I've seen happening consistently for years now. That honestly, if you're someone that's on social media, you have no reason and no excuse to not know, to not understand what consent is. I understand you saying that there are women who want to be, persuaded into having sex, blah blah blah. But that is not the blanket statement for all women. I think that whenever there's cases of SA that comes up and men have this conversation, because it's not a conversation that's foreign here. It's a conversation a lot of men constantly have about, but maybe she wanted, maybe da-da-da-da-da. For all those conversations and for all the cases that come out, at what point then is it just a case of, do you know what, let's start going for clear yeses and clear no's? Because saying that things are different now to how it used to be, rape was never something that was recognized in marriage, but it's still being rape. Yeah. There's a lot of things that we've not see. Wait, there's a lot of things that we not see as criminal, but they are, in what they are criminal.
That's
It's
still
just
a
now.
blurred
No,
line.
wait. Let me finish my point. Now we know what it is. Just because back in the day it wasn't it wasn't labeled as rape doesn't make it any less rape in that marriage than it does today in a marriage where the law clearly says it's rape. There's a lot of things, even like when it comes to like mental illness and stuff like that. There's a lot of names that we didn't have for stuff back then, but now we do. It doesn't take away from what the condition was back then. So wait. I feel like I understand there's a lot of work that needs to be done around consent. I understand that. However, if you're somebody that's online and you're somebody who is able to have access to these stories every single time it comes up, you are lazy and you just don't care if you have not done the work to know what consent actually is. What is wrong in actually just going for a simple yes and a no? It needs to be a thing where if you have a girl that's playing games or doing all that, let her know, listen, I'm not trying to make you do anything that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
There's also a conversation to be had about women who want to play hard to get or wherever it is. Because what that does, unfortunately, like this conversation now, what it does, it takes away from the people who are actually in those positions where they actually are coerced to do stuff. So these are conversations that needs to happen. However, for me, I feel like it's a lazy excuse to say that because things are different now to how they were. We didn't have technology back then. People have learned to do a lot of things that have evolved over time. You've learned how to deal with things. You've learned how to manage things. You've learned how to use things over time. So why is this one thing now? You can't wait. This one thing now you don't want to be bothered to educate yourself on because you don't want to. And the reality of these conversations is that when we're having this conversation, people are coming up with X, Y, and Z as to why, oh no, it's not that, or it's bloodlines, blah, 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 is because you know that you've crossed lines and there's times you've crossed lines.
That's not true.
And so the conversation to happen. If you're sitting there,
not true.
regardless of the word that's used, saying the word coerce is a big word or is too deep, that's all. What's the word I'm looking for? That's all silly games. That's all I'm saying. If you have to persuade a woman, and again, because I saw someone linked it. Wait a minute. You don't have to persuade someone to have sex with you. What are we saying?
No, but
you cannot persuade somebody to have sex with you.
Be specific.
Don't focus on the word.
No, it's
I have to focus on the word.
It's
I have to focus on the word.
Precisely, we're here. So if it is, that's not what it is. You mean again? Give an example.
Because you said persuade.
No, I talk how I talk. I ain't got time to keep explaining myself. I'm not a dumb TikToker. I speak how I speak. Who likes it, likes it. Who don't like it, don't like it. If you can make sense of it, make sense of it. If you can't, I don't even give a fuck.
And that's fair. But then saying stuff like, oh, like, you know, that's part of the game where if you're trying to talk to a girl, you're trying to date a girl, you convince her, don't you? What are we doing? Conflating you trying to date a person and you having sex with them? Like, what are we doing here?
Again, Jackie just gave you an example where a guy could be talking to a girl, didn't touch her, didn't thing it, but he was just kept bombarding her, and he ended up getting the pum and he feels like, oh yeah, I got slick lines, whatnot. And he obviously got consent because she said yes and it happened. And in the same breath, she felt like she was in a position where she couldn't say no. He kept going. I was calling her and I couldn't say no. You know what I'm trying to say? That's the same scenario, two different feelings in the same place. There's blurred lines all over the place.
Can I tell you that
could be consensual?
Can I tell you that when it comes to abuse, emotional abuse exists, financial abuse exists, mental abuse exists. There are no scars to show these abuses. So what are we doing here? This is what I'm saying. Like I'm not arguing with you or anything like that. I'm just saying that we cannot sit on. Because we've had this conversation about consent so many times across so many platforms for so many years. At what point do we start educating ourselves then? We cannot sit here and say that the lines are blurred, That's not an argument that holds up today. There's been work going on consent for years. People sit online all the time and cuss Oloni up and down. She's had a whole thing about making sure that there's education about consent going on. There's been so much stuff online about consent for years. If you cared enough, you would go and look into it and you would understand. And even if you don't care, one second, Jackie, even if you do not care, the fact that we have these cases regularly, the fact that these things happen all the time, the fact that these arguments of blurred lines is this, is that does not work, at what point then do you say, do you know what, I'm only operating on a clear yes. I'm only operating on a clear no. When do we get to that point?
Because some girls still, like, so for example, there are clear lines. We're talking about only blurred lines. We're talking about blurred lines where that example I gave, the guy's going to leave and think, of course you want to do it. I didn't touch her. I didn't force her. He's going to think that. So the blurred lines are where we consistently need to educate people and say, do you know what? What does charming mean? What does playing hard to get on a girl's side mean? Because let's not lie, there are girls who play hard to get, and that's part of their line. Like, I'm going to pretend I don't like him. I'm going to make sure he keeps asking me before I go out with him. There are girls that do that, and there are guys that also think that's part of the chase. So unless we educate, and people might think, okay, the game might now be boring, but it's like it's going to save everyone from the blurred lines. But we can't keep, like, we have to be able to say, okay, is this a blurred line? Yes, it is a blurred line. So say no. We have to keep giving scenarios.
Can I respond to that
because
very
it's not
quickly,
fair on
Jackie?
guys.
I'm so sorry,
Yeah,
just before I forget. I hear what you're saying about there's women that say this, there's women that say that. But my point is that we know that when it comes to sexual assault, men are convicted more. That's not factual, but we hear more cases where it's a man against a woman, right? So as a man, if I was a man, I'm not playing the game with a girl who's trying to do hard to get.
Especially high value man.
Especially a high value man, first of all.
Crazy.
But especially though as well, when I know what could happen should her story go left. I'm the one that's going to be in prison. I'm the one that's going to face consequences. So why would I say... Second?
It's not worth the risk.
It's not worth the risk. That's what I'm trying to say. So I get you saying that we need to say this, blah, blah, blah. However, we're not going to be able to educate everybody in the world. However, though, as the man who will be the one possibly facing jail time, who will be the one where your life is ruined, blah, 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 why are you sitting there and allowing a woman to be doing, oh yes, I do, but not, like, I feel like men should make it clear to women that I'm not going to do anything with you if you do not tell me a clear yes.
Yeah.
I don't care what you want. I don't care how you try to flirt with me. Don't touch me after. Set those boundaries.
But it's also
because it's your life at risk.
Power abuse of a lot of high value men, isn't it?
Well,
but then, see, that's another conversation, because even the power abuse, you could get a yes from somebody, and someone can say that's power abuse, because obviously, because that position of power, you've kind of made that person
It's a
feel
dirty
like
game,
I have
really.
to say yes.
but you know the joke, the annoying thing about even all of this sexual assault and stuff like that is not convicted at the high rate it really should be. It's not convicted in cases where there's been evidence and whatever. Do you know what I mean? Where there's clear evidence that has happened. So imagine how much it definitely would not be convicted if you can tell the court and tell the police that no, I had a conversation with her, I asked her, and she said yes. Or do you get me? Like when you can show them that you did every single thing that you needed to do to ensure you got consent, and the moment you didn't, you backed away. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So even if it's a false allegation or whatever the case is, you've ticked all the boxes. But you can't go to court, showing up to court and about, oh yeah, but you know, Your Honor, it's blurred lines sometimes. You know, sometimes girls tell you they don't want it, but then really and truly, because I dealt with Monica back in the day and she said that, but again, you can't apply different scenarios with different women. When I say I'm yes about my yes and I'm no about my no, and I've also been in uncomfortable situations that I never want to be in ever again in my life. Do you get what I'm trying to say? However, you can't apply what some women do. There's no stats for some women have this belief. There's no stats for all these things. So you can't apply that to a life or death situation. It just sounds very stupid to me.
Can I ask you a question? This might, I'm trying not to be insensitive or be silly here, right? But do you feel like it's also a generational thing? Because obviously, like, your generation, you're younger than us, right? Same age group. But
I'm glad you said me. Don't say me age group.
But you get what I'm trying to say? Like, your age and down. So like 21, 25 is different to my age group with Mark, you know what I'm saying? And Jackie, for example. Is that why maybe there might be a difference in interpretation as well?
I think I would say yes, but because of how it was upheld legally. Okay. Because again, like I mentioned, rape was not something that people saw as illegal in a marriage. If that was your man, if that was your husband, he had access to your body, regardless of whatever your thoughts, whatever you wanted, he had access to it. Yeah. And so traditionally, culturally, that's been passed down through time. However, just like people are able to keep up with technology, just like people are able to keep up with the new curriculum, just like you're able to keep up with the new way of living, you can keep up with such laws.
It's not only, by the way, when I say that, sorry, Jackie, one thingy. It's not only just in terms of the men. I'm also talking about the women. So, for example, the women our age may also feel like it's not really feminine to say, yes, I want this. But,
I
so maybe that mentality is, you know what I mean?
But it's also a purity concept, right? That we've been conditioned to, like, even
you can't ask for sex, you can't be asexual.
Like, count online. So it's that generational mindset shifting of, as a woman, you can have sexual autonomy and it's okay to want sex, but at the same time, I don't want to be slut shamed. So now, if you go towards a generation where women are forward of like, yes, daddy, like I want it, then you're going to be slut shamed. But then we've also taught men that because our purity or virtue is in between our legs that men should chase. But now if men chase and persuade, then it's seen as coercion. So I understand that it's quite confusing.
Yeah.
I'm even looking at myself like, what is wrong with me?
But you know, it's like I 100% agree with that, because again, the attitudes towards women having sex and stuff is changing. But then even though we're seeing more sexualized stuff in public, it doesn't change the attitudes within and how people are privately or whatever. And I get that, all that makes sense. However, based on how we're living today, I still don't understand why you can see what the conviction rate is, or why you can see these things happening or whatever else, and you don't think to take the necessary steps that you need to take. Like, we're able, when it comes to how it is that we've been raised, when it comes to how we've been socialized, we're happy to question that in so many other things. But when it comes to this thing that actually holds jail sentences, that actually holds your life being over, you're like finishing your life.
I think it just goes back to the Bible, you know, the concepts and the Sorry, I think
some people are taught. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the Bible and kind of like the punishment per se of like sexual sin. And I always say that I think as a high value man, it's not to say that you should be forced to be married, but it really does work in your favor to be committed to one person, ideally, or whatever you want, just even from an integral and safeguarding risk, because there's far too many men that have fallen victim to their own lack of sexual discipline, especially black men. Do you get what I mean?
No,
so
even
it's just a bit...
men in general. Look at Brett Kavanaugh with the Supreme Court of Justice or whatever. But also, there was a generation that said, "Don't like your man more than he likes you. Make sure he likes you more than you like him." So how do we get here if
obviously
he
now
has
he's
to like
pestering
me
me,
more? Yeah, but there's a fine line between the one who pestered in a charming way. A good-looking man can pester you and you'll be
Sexual
fine.
attraction.
Let an ugly man pester you and it's like, ew, it's giving you the ick. But there's that generation, as Emmanuel said, where it was normal. If the guy didn't chase you, he was seen as a simp. That's a new word now. They're like, that guy's too soft. That's how generations were now. And also, I was going to say, echo chambers. You're seeing this online because you care about it. You're passionate about it. It affects you. Some people are not seeing and hearing all these things. They might see the post that you mentioned before and go past it and not read fully.
Finlay
and not
makes a good
understand
point
it.
as well. Ain't it usually, for the most part, or even traditionally, ain't it like the men that are supposed to initiate sex?
Yeah, that's what we were saying earlier.
Yeah, so again...
Because of how women were taught.
Has that changed?
Of course, it's changing. You see women have more autonomy over their bodies and stuff. Because women weren't socialized to believe that we could actually desire sex. Like sex is a thing, is for the man. So we're seeing attitudes changing that in terms of women will be like, oh, like I want to have sex, like more autonomy over their bodies and the things they do with their bodies and want to have sex and stuff. Absolutely, yeah. But my whole thing is, I just think as a man, when you see the conversations that happen, like when you're more likely to be the one that's cancelled from these things, I just don't understand why you don't dot your I's and cross your T's.
Men don't move women in public anymore. Nobody whines in the club. Like,
consent is sexy.
What was that?
Greetings, people.
Is that Saleh?
Hello.
How's everyone today?
How's it going, man? You all right?
I love a greeting.
Grand Rising.
All good.
Don't encourage.
Oh, Grand Rising indeed. Grand Rising indeed. Yeah, I tuned in a bit late today, but oh wait, I can hear myself echoing somewhere. I don't know where that's coming from. But yeah, I tuned in a bit late, but I'm a bit confused as to, or I don't know, I think maybe people might be confused, or maybe it's just me, but are we not blurring the lines between like consent to do things sexual and then just like a man trying to have a conversation with a woman? But
That's
because
exactly what we're saying.
Sorry?
That's exactly where we're going. At what point does it cross over to I'm just charming you to then I'm coercing and forcing you?
Yeah, but because I think everyone understands that consent.
Charming someone to take their pants off is wild. That's how is that charming?
No, but because we see that happen all the time with like funny people.
No, but
like,
if you're charming, that makes me want to take my pants off, is different to you charming me to take my pants off.
Esther, some people date.
How would you know?
Some people look. Some people do date intentionally. Listen, some people date intentionally. Yeah. Some people believe in love at first sight. Some people will say that God spoke to me this morning and I was supposed to meet you and you're going to be my wife and I'm ready to date. That's cool. Other people work on the flight. They see you. It's a general attraction. It's lust. You know what I'm trying to say? They want to sleep with you.
Okay.
They want to whatever happens after that happens. We'll see where it goes. But in the process of me going to chop her, I'll get to know her. She might stick. She might not. But initially, it's a lust. It's I like you. I'm gonna think you. Once they make that decision, yeah, their whole game, their whole movement is for them to get you to agree to this, to want to chop them. So even using words like persuasion, right? Like you might not like the words, but I'm saying, but this is what it is, the transaction between men and women. Like I said, unless they're doing love at first sight, you're the one I'm gonna give the ring to. I want kids, wife, and I know that from day one, and this is where we're going and building towards. Their whole mission is to smoke you.
But you know what? I get the play. I get the play. But then as a man, do you at any point stop just to confirm that outside of the game you put down, this woman is actually happy to be here?
But you should know. No, some men, and like you said, you saying like he's reading the room. I don't understand why people can't read the room. Maybe some people ain't got no antennas and no perception or whatever it may be. Yeah,
Zero.
But you know. You like you're saying, you've read. I mean, this girl's been vibing all night. We've gone out, we've done stuff, we're flinging, we're flirting. I lead you to my bedroom. I back my clothes and jump in my bed. You back yours and jump in the bed with me. What the fuck are we talking about?
Do you know what's so
when I
funny,
start lipsing you and feeding you up, you're lipsing me back and grabbing my things. We don't need to talk.
Do you know what's
Because
so
when
funny?
as soon as I get hard, it's going off.
Do you know what's so funny? Yeah. Do you know what's so funny? Yeah. I feel like part of it as well. Yeah, is men's ego, because I've had guys who think I like them. And I'm like,
but you wouldn't be. But you wouldn't be in the bed. But you wouldn't be in the bed.
But that's the thing. I get that. However, though, it starts with you. But these are the signs, though, because that guy will be like, "Oh, she's giving me the signs."
But
I'm just a nice. I just came from church. Like I'm just a nice person. But here we are. And I feel like that's the problem, though, because you know what it is? Like I understand all these nuances. I understand it. It would be silly for me to say I don't understand. I absolutely understand it. But I just think that given the climate, at one point do we start working in...
It's expensive.
It's expensive. All of this you're doing for game. All of this you're doing. And you're saying, because do you think you're going to go to court?
Charges.
You think you're going to go to court and the judge is going to say, do you know what? I get it. There is a game, and you gotta be charming, and you know what? I charm my wife too. Do you think that's the conversation that's gonna happen?
I charm my wife too.
Do you think that's the conversation that's gonna happen? So at what point then do we start taking responsibility to do the needful? Because I'm bored of these conversations where whenever there's an SH thing come and then now it's doing but maybe she wanted it. But then she used to be his girlfriend. But then maybe I'm tired of these conversations. At what point then does everyone start crossing their T's and dotting their I's, and let's all just move forward with life?
Just better being safe than sorry.
Bro!
And turn yeses into being sexy.
I still don't understand. I still don't really understand what we're talking about here, because
That's how I get my shoes.
like if you're having a conversation with a girl, that is just a conversation. It's a conversation. Like there's no physical. There's no like. And then of course,
but you have intentions behind your words, though. No,
further,
what's the point of your conversation?
And
you lining her up for something?
Well, as in, you're gonna use whatever tactics, whatever buzz that you've got. But why would you? That's like me. Okay, I work in sales. Now, what we do, the whole point of every conversation that we get on with all these clients is to basically bamboozle them for them to pay us. That's basically in layman's terms. That's what we're doing.
And you use
we're building
the skills
rapport.
you learned in sales to go and get pumped on the streets. Salah, you're a bad guy.
No. In fact. Wait. Let me speak for myself. First of all, me myself, I don't even move to girls anyway, because
they move to you. Privileged man. I see you in the comments.
Get them keto abs.
Nah, like, well, to be honest, if I was to keep it 100%, I would say, well, first of all, anyway, I don't have any interest in someone who doesn't have interest in me. So if I don't see that this person wants me the same way I want them, then I can't lie, there's no point. It's dead. But I know loads of guys are very different anyway. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's a conversation. And if a girl is not feeling the conversation and she says, leave me alone, or go away, or something to that effect, or like anything, then the conversation ends. So I don't even feel like right now we're speaking about the same thing. Consent is always consent.
Yeah.
That is full stop. That's it. So it's like the conversation will lead to knowing if she's giving consent or not. But like the guy's going to shoot his shot at the end of the day.
And like unless we're gonna start telling people walk around with flags, green flag, come speak to me, red flag, as in like what are we talking about? I really don't get it. But because one thing which is as sure as day, which I know guys will shoot their shot. They will.
Everyone just got to be open and honest, man. About what
then
they want.
sometimes when a guy shoots their shot, and we see this time and time again, that the girl wasn't feeling him at first, but then he was funny, he was this, he was that, charisma, and then bam, they're married, they got kids.
Marx's point, though. That's Marx's point. At what point did he do too much? There's so many stories like love at first sight. No, it's more so I didn't like him at first, and then he did all the things you said, and now I like him. So there is that line that everyone crosses, and maybe smart men will say, I'm going to stop because I can see that she doesn't like me. But some carried on to the finishing line. But also, sorry, I've got to go now.
Wait, what is that finishing line? What is that finishing line?
It's depending on you and the person's individualistic. What I might think is you should carry on. Someone might say you've done too much. But also, this is obviously essay's essay. However, I think the lady was talking about strong men, high power men. You know, a lot of high power men are actually chased. Women chase high-powered men. There's a show with Monica Lewinsky, and she's a producer of the show when it's called Impeachment. But she was just saying that she wasn't the victim. I'm not talking about any SA victims. I'm not. But I'm talking about the power play of high-powered men. Sometimes they are hunted by women as well.
Yeah,
I don't
even
think there's
like young
enough conversation
NBA players,
about that.
they warn them, innit? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they literally, girls book hotels. Look at Basketball Wives. They chased the guys and made them they made sure they were in the eye view of those men.
That doesn't surprise me at all. But then even with that now, it's like I'm trying to follow this conversation, because like for someone to say that someone is out of or that they're doing too much by literally I don't know, speaking to a girl that they see in the sandwich, or hopefully it would be a keto bar in the morning where they go and get their breakfast or whatever. Like, how is that doing too much? It's a conversation. If the girl doesn't want to have the conversation, she's gonna let him know.
How many men do that though? Like, how many men have that self-awareness? When you tell a guy you got a girlfriend, so you got a boyfriend, he's like, oh, but you don't want friends there. I can't be your friend.
Well, your husband.
Why? So when I said I have a boyfriend, why didn't you just walk away? Because again, there's that whole thing about, let me try and change your mind. But that's none of your business. I've told you what I've told you. In the same way, if a girl says, I don't want to sleep with you, that should be it. It shouldn't be a thing, but I feel like you're feeling me though. But also, but you touched my arm for like 3 Mississippis
it
though.
It goes back to the once tested X times tried, because there are some cases where you meet a girl and it's like, oh yeah, but I've got a man. It's like, oh, but I can't be friends. Like, okay then.
Absolutely.
I've had it change in the same situation. We're moving. I thought you had a man. Nah, I was just saying that because you seem cool. You know what I'm trying to say? So you telling me you got a man? That's not enough to stop the conversation.
Yeah, that's not enough. And that's fair.
Is it love? You got a man. Do you love him? Do you love him? How long have you been with him?
Great times.
So I've got a gang too. It's cool.
But you know what it is? That you can't just because that's happened a few times, it doesn't mean that every situation you go into, you should go with that mindset of, well, you're probably lying. And I just feel like this is where there's problems will happen. I don't know if what I'm saying is being missed. I just don't think all these games are worth it.
That's basically it.
That's the long and short of all of this. All these nuances.
Yeah, no.
All
and
these.
That is.
Wait, one
second.
Sorry, 1 second. All of this nuances, all of these is game, all of this is flirting, all of this I'm charming, I'm this, I'm that. Where is it leading you to? It could possibly be jail. So at what point?
What I would say is that it takes away
let me just say this,
sensuality of like flirting and stuff, because now people just have to be direct. If you have a man,
but you know what it is though. But you know what it is. You can flirt though. And I think that's an interesting thing is that people are conflating things. You can be charming.
Now we've got a problem with game. Man can't run game.
But that's the thing though. But that's what I'm trying to say. You can run game. You can flirt. You can. I don't understand why the conversation about consent is leading into like all these other things, because you know what, there are men who have consensual sex and responsible sex every single time, but they are charming, they are loving, they are caring, they flirt well, they tick all the boxes.
Consent's an open and shut case. Yes, you need consent. It's not even an argument.
Well,
yeah, it's just different things that it's the way to think. Remember, this started from a Philly conversation, from the thing, and obviously it's about the stuff that happens around these cases. We're talking about the court of public opinion, how we're going to judge man. Remember, we don't have all the information. Because if a man's guilty, a man's guilty. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? But then now we're getting into the conversations about situations that people get in, where lines get blurred, where things happen, where people, like, that's why you need the context. That's why you need the context. That's why it's just so dangerous to fuck with people. But like I'm saying, I don't know if like people ain't walking around with consent forms and all these stuff, and it sounds cool and it makes sense, but I think like in your average real life interactions, like that's not what you're doing. You know what I'm trying to say? Them people that are doing essay and taking pom pom from people, they're outliers. No, but they are. They're outliers. They're not normal. Your normal interactions with people is normal. You go through the motions. You run game. You flirt. You get me. You go back and forth. It's the prize. You got to set your bar. Whatever hoops I've got to jump through to get that pom pom. That's what I've got to do if I want to do it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And that's the game. That's how it's been from the beginning of time. And then now it's a problem because man's running game.
But I feel like when people say stuff like that, it's just it's minimized and it's silly though. It's a silly counter argument because no one's saying you can't have game. No one's saying you can't be charming. There's so many men that are charming. There's so many men that are friendly. There's so many men that are all these things. However, they have consensual sex. They make sure that when we're going to have sex, that it's not a thing where I'm pleading for the sex. I'm not negotiating the terms of the sex. I'm not saying, like, two can exist because Fernand said, where is it? It says, I agree it's not worth it and man needs to chill out. But then tomorrow's topic of the day is going to be why men don't move to women anymore. Like, what are we talking about here? I'm talking about how you can avoid jail and you're turning that into a thing of, men can't even move to women anymore. And I find that so crazy.
I always find when people conflate stuff though, because there are some women that believe that now, like, moving to a woman is pestering.
No, but
because you're invading my boundary and space.
No, but if you move to a woman and she's like, I'm not interested, walk away. You stand here and tell me,
but the fact that you moved, some women find it offensive.
And I'm not speaking for these people at the moment. But however, though, that's the example I gave earlier, where I've said to guys, I've got a boyfriend, and now you're still standing here telling me, okay, yeah, but what if we're just friends? Okay, but then what if I just text you at this? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
No one's saying that the presence of you having consensual sex takes away from the fact that you can't speak to women. No one's saying any of that. Yeah. Like what? Like I hate when people just make such stupid, man.
Go on, Salah.
Esther. Okay, yeah. So now I'm gonna bring this back.
Lastly on this as well.
Yeah, I'm drained.
Okay, I'm gonna bring this back.
Drain me.
Because like I said, I work in sales. Now, in sales, everyone's got a different follow-up method. Everyone's got a different way of building rapport. Some people, they get on the call, they're straight to the numbers. Some people, they talk about, I don't know, their sister's gardener's dog for 30 minutes before they talk about numbers. Everyone has their own way and you find what works for you. Now, like I said, personally, me, I don't go around walking, just stopping girls on the street. That's not what I do. However, I know many people that do. Now, as we've said, consent is that is a non-negotiable. Has to happen. But at the end of the day, if with that example of if a guy speaks to a girl, she says that she's got a man, and then he said, "Oh, what do you love him, or what you can't have friends, that sort of thing." Now, like I've said.
That's the best one. What you got a man you can't go to your friends now. Is that what kind of man you got just oppressing you in the yard, like? Sorry, it's on the card. Is it gone? What's happened?
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, Sally wouldn't have stopped.
Oh, look at God! This right.
Overlooked by women. The majority of guys get overlooked by women. So it's like, I don't even understand what we're doing right now. Like, you're shooting someone down for shooting their shot. Now, I'm not saying, of course, I wouldn't even go with that verse of what you can't have friends or that sort of approach. But at the end of the day, if they are not essaying someone, they're having a conversation with someone on the street. Just like how, I don't know, you could about with an ice cream seller about ice cream. Like it's a conversation. Nothing illegal has happened. It might be cringy. It might not be your style. But at the same time, just like you're saying that's not the sort of thing that you would go for. Like Muggs is saying, there are many girls that would go for that sort of thing. So I don't like, as long as there has been no crime, let them try, man. That's how they get it.
All right, Salih, man. Appreciate your call as always.
Yes. It's been nice to hear you guys, man.
You will listen.
And everyone have a fantastic day.
Got that off his chest. All right, man.
Take care, guys.
Thanks. Let's move to People's Journal.
All right, people, welcome to the People's Journal, where I give you the news from an economics point of view. There's a few things I want to mention, but I'll try and keep it brief. We spoke about this briefly in the headlines, and this is basically about millions of people being set to get stronger protections from unfair dismissals from the first day in the job. You know what I'm saying? Because of this whole new overhaul of workers' rights that the government is basically putting in place. Most of the planned changes aren't going to be taking effect until autumn of 2026, following a period of consultation. But I'll tell you about some of the changes. But yeah, that's basically what the government is looking to do. So, long story short, workers will be able to get statutory sick pay from the first day. So, you know, a lot of the time you have to be employed for a certain, Now workers will be able to get statutory sick pay from the first day that they're ill.
Wow.
And claim unpaid parental leave from day one as well. Yeah, so these are all new measures that are going to be announced in the Employment Rights Bill. Like I said, I'll keep it brief, but like I said, statutory sick pay, workers are going to be entitled from the first day rather than the fourth day. There's also the lower earnings limit for statutory sick pay as well. Currently, workers earning less than £123 per week can't claim statutory sick pay, right? So that limit has now been removed. But the bill is going to be setting out like a lesser level of sick pay for lower earners. So there will be somewhat of a tiered amount that you would be getting, but that limit itself, £123, is going to be removed completely. Also, paternity leave, right? Fathers are going to be eligible from day one of employment instead of 26 weeks. So before, fathers, you ain't getting no paternity leave. The same thing happened to me. Then COVID saved me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
COVID saved me.
It is wild. That is very, very wild.
I got 7 months of paternity leave.
That's so wild.
We thank God.
So you get a year.
No.
How long do women get?
You know,
Depends on the company. Anything ranging from like
6 months to a year, right? Something like that.
6.
So you get a year's maternity from like your work and government, but depending on your company, like I got 5.5 months full pay, but then it decreases to like I think it's £700 a month. After,
I think the men should get the full pay time as well, and then and then as a household we can decide whether you can go back. Just so if I'm getting half, and you're bringing your full pay, then you know we're not that bad financially.
And
but it's wild that you expect men to just be with their kids for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it used
terrible,
to be 2.
innit?
Now it's some places it's 6, but then
But a lot of people don't know that you can take the woman's maternity as your own, if that makes sense. So instead of you staying at home, she has to go back to work.
Yeah.
But for example, let's just say you didn't need a year.
Okay, fair.
I could take 3 months, add to my 6 weeks, and then get 3
Okay,
weeks.
fair.
Yeah,
That's
you know what I
actually
mean?
smart.
Yeah,
So
but
like
obviously
that.
depending if the woman wants it, because you can't.
Yeah, of course.
You're like, it's my baby too.
No, because I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about the pain I'm in.
Yeah, it depends on the woman, innit?
My body's not restructured, but I'm at work typing and sending emails further to
my
my
husband wants to stay at home with the baby now.
I'll be here for that though.
Yeah, so that's good at least
kind of
for the fathers, you know what I mean? Now they don't have to be in employment for 26 weeks before they even get some sort of paternity leave. Unpaid parental leave as well. Parents will be eligible from day one of employment instead of after a year.
Okay.
Right? Unpaid bereavement leave as well. That's meant to be a day one right for workers as well. And flexible working, management are basically expected to consider any flexible working request from day one. So, you know, before sometimes you kind of feel like, I have to wait a certain time, probation has to go, I have to be in a company for X amount of time. Yeah, basically they're saying by law, once this is implemented, that your bosses will have to consider. I don't know what considering looks like, because they may just say, yeah, I've heard you. No, stay, come back to work. But yeah, what they're saying is, they have to consider it from day one and say yes, unless they can prove it is unreasonable. So that's basically what the situation is. Apparently, roughly 30,000 fathers or partners will be eligible for paternity leave as a result of this new change. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Yeah, man. Well, 1.5 million parents will have the right to unpaid leave from day one, again, because of these changes. Quick thing, obviously, in this country, like Mark's kind of referenced earlier about the stop the boats. Obviously, we're trying to stop the...
No, great callback. Don't know why you brought him into it.
You know what it is? I forgot what it was about.
Silly. When you said I just skip past that, so I'm not doing this.
But obviously in this country, we're trying to stop the boats, right? But in Spain,
We're telling
apparently...
them, trying to stop them. We is
There you
French.
go. But apparently in Spain, they're saying come. Why? Because they've recognized, that they got a labor shortage. And they
Okay.
recognize they got a large generation of baby boomers who are retiring and not enough workers to replace them. So they're basically saying the black people that come from Africa and all that sort of
Okay.
stuff, come basically. We need
Okay.
you. You know what I'm saying?
I'd actually live in Spain. It's got better weather anyway.
There you go. There you go. So obviously, this might be a topic of the day for another day, but the people, the actual so-called natives, let's just say the white European Spaniards, they're basically saying, wait a minute, we don't want this. We don't want this. Apparently, 41% of them are worried about
They're getting
this.
wet then. If it's the old people that took it, you need to tell them to shut the hell up. You're the reason why we have to do this. But you don't want this. And increase the retirement age and keep working to the down there.
Yeah,
But you don't want this. How is racism living above poverty? That's so crazy.
But yeah, that's what's happening in Spain. Next thing is Elon Musk, Tesla. They're going to be launching their new vehicle called Cybercab, which is basically like a robo-taxi. You know what I'm saying? So taxi with no driver sort of thing, right? Obviously, I'm not too sure if you guys have heard about this, but it's been delayed several times. And it is expected to use cameras and computing power for navigation. Instead of just like sensors and stuff like that, right? So they're planning Tesla itself is planning to own and operate some of the robo-taxis. So it's not just a thing where they're making it and expecting, I guess, companies to just buy from them. They actually want to be in the business itself as well. So they're also going to be allowing owners to rent out their vehicles as well. So that's basically what the situation is. I believe yesterday in the news, quite a few of the people at the top of Tesla put in their retirement. They don't like some of the new moves that Elon Musk is making. But that's another story for another day. And the last thing I wanted to mention is the pharmaceutical giant, GSK. You guys may not know them like when I'm saying it, but you will see their brand everywhere. Basically, they are having to pay $2.2 billion to settle thousands of cases in US courts. Why? Because of their medication called Zantac, yeah? I'll show you a picture. Or maybe Brent can put it up on the screen.
Is that the... Oh, not Xanax, Zantac. Okay.
Yeah, Zantac. Basically, this causes cancer.
It causes.
Yeah.
What?
God. That's why you have to go to herbs.
For real. You know what I'm saying? So this is
That's
meant to
crazy.
this is meant to help with heartburn. But then you leave with
Cancer.
tumors. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
sad, you know?
Yeah, it's so sad. So yeah, they basically announced that they've reached an agreement with 10 different law firms who represent 80,000 different claimants. And yeah, man, the claimants is high. It's not as high as, actually, Diddy's is at what, 12,000, isn't it? Something like that. So
What are they going to do?
I don't know. But anyway, I'm just basically saying this is how much money these are paying out in compensation. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the settlements account for 93% of all cases. And yeah, man, GSK is also going to be paying $70 million to resolve a whistleblower complaint as well. So somebody came out, snitched about what they do in their labs and alleged that GSK defrauded the US government by concealing these particular cancer risks. So they knew from before that there was a potential that people develop cancer from this. And $70 million is going to be going to that particular complaint. It's crazy. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the People's Journal.
All right, let's get into some dilemmas. We've got asking for a friend. Oh, no, that's cool. So great. The person writing this one is age 31.
Dear Diary.
What'd you say?
Dear Diary.
Every time I write my journal, I feel like Marisha. I feel like I should have some kind of music playing in the background, literally. All right, so I was wondering if you can help me. I'm getting a lot of pressure from my family because I'm not from a strict family home. I already let them down because I never went to university and I failed my GCSEs. So I've been the failure of the family for many years, being 31, especially coming from an African home. My problem is I love pum pum. How'd you guys get me to do things
Keep
like
going.
this? Shut up.
Let's get to the crux of things.
This is the kind of man
My
that
problem-
says press the charges.
Okay,
Hey,
my problem is...
Say yes before you keep going.
I'm going to throw my iPad at your forehead. My problem is I love pum pum and I cannot get enough. This is why you're a problem. You didn't. Anyway, I'm sorry, Nigerian really jumped out. I love pum pum and I cannot get enough of it. Anywhere I go, I have to sex down 3 or 4 women minimum. Oh.
What do you mean? Anyway, like, you say, you
This is what I'm talking about.
How are you chopping 3 gallon Gregs?
Where's the sexual discipline?
No, man are talking. Man are just saying stuff.
Go on.
Man are just saying stuff.
Greg's?
Huh?
Okay, let me carry on.
God.
I've had several jobs and I've literally sexed down the place. Minus the ugly things. I like fat things. I didn't appreciate Margs and that Canadian guy dissing fat things.
Well, hold
But
the phone.
despite-
I did not diss no fat girls. There was no
So you not put
dissing.
that on my name.
There was no dissing of larger women coming from me.
Good.
I am an activist. I'm a feminist. I'm an enthusiast.
Okay. I like fat things. I didn't appreciate Margs and that Canadian guy dissing fat things, but despite that, I feel Margs knows where I'm coming from with the fat things. Do you?
I said I feel he is a fat thing connoisseur as well as Slim Things, one of the pom pom connoisseurs to another. Oh yeah.
So this is what you're known for.
Yeah, no, he's fat. I know big things.
Right. I love skinny. What? Okay. I love skinny things. I love everything. I went to Ghana for Christmas. I banged a different thing every single day. I was there for 3 weeks. I want to get married and settle down. Marry who?
Who's married you?
Community dick. Marry who?
Oh dear.
I want to get married and settle down, but my cocky is like a gun that doesn't need reloading. It goes off everywhere. Please help. You're a
That's really
deviant.
banter.
What can I do to change my behavior and
become
a loyal man? That said, I've never cheated. I just can't control myself. How do you say I never cheated and I can't control myself in the same sentence? You're a deviant. I don't know how to help
Yeah,
you.
that's
This is above
deviant
me.
behavior.
This is above me. This is above.
I don't know
This is yours. You don't even know what sexual discipline could ever mean. Like this is wild. I think you might be a sex addict though. Like serious conversation. I actually think you might. I think you might be a sex addict, and I think you need to look into that. Yeah, I think it's even more than therapy.
Cognitive.
Rehab. The sex rehab. It
3,
should be.
4 people.
The guy that was. Did you ever watch Girlfriends? Mm-hmm. Do you remember Joan's boyfriend that time, Sean?
Yes.
He went. That's why he went to rehab.
You went to rehab for it.
Yeah, but I actually think you should look into it.
We did.
Because feeling like you must have sex with every woman that walks by.
Everything get fucked when I reach. That's basically what he's saying.
Quite literally.
what
That's
he's
scary.
saying.
I think men are that very scary actually. I think that's
by
very scary.
force.
Because people like you, I'm like, what's your consent game saying? Respectfully.
This is it.
If you're gagging for it and dying for it every single time, are you actually dotting your I's and crossing your T's? And also, I hope you use protection when you're sleeping with these women.
Men like that don't.
I pray he does. And I pray that you've had some tests. Because you sound like you might have a few things.
Oh, jeez.
Respectfully.
Yeah, right.
Because you can't be having sex up and down. Like, you can't be having sex up and down like that. And not have a couple of things. Sorry, but because you don't sound like you do your due diligence to check that you don't have a couple of things. So you may have been carrying baggage for time.
Can we just skip to the next part? That was it.
That's it, girl.
Goddamn.
That's the dilemma. I don't know. Connoisseur?
Wah,
He-
wah, wah.
You hit him on the head, man. He sounds like he needs, or maybe Jesus. Did you send him to church?
Yeah.
Did you send him to church?
I didn't send him to church
Send him to church, baby girl.
because
He needs something.
Remember, anyway
anywhere he goes.
So in the
I don't want that
church-
for the sisters.
I fell in love with the. Oh, yeah.
I want him to be saved in his household first. And then once he knows he's saved, sanctified, and he's been cleansed by the blood of Jesus, then he can go and find a church. Out here sleeping with the pastor's wife. I don't want that. No. I don't know if I want that for the girl who's in church.
Yeah, you sound like you got a problem, man.
I think he does have a problem though. I think he definitely has a sexual addiction.
Maybe just go and live your truth, man. Go and fuck out your system.
You can't. He's been doing this for years.
He must come to an end eventually.
Yeah, I don't think his cum is ever ending. Sounds like he's got an endless supply.
I'm scared of him.
Ew, he sounds like a threat.
I feel scared.
Can you imagine?
That's scary.
Oh gosh.
Like he just starts a new job and just goes, who am I gonna have sex with? Who's first on my list?
I
Imagine
hear that. I
he
hear
went
that,
for
though.
the entire building.
A lot of people chop in the workplace, though.
Yeah, people
Like, I
do,
hear
but come
that.
on, like that's not why they're getting the job. When they're asking why do you want this job?
Yeah,
Sorry,
true.
can you imagine?
Why do you want this job? It is man is thinking because I want.
So what's the ratio? What's
Can
the
you get
diversity
sacked from
like?
work? Can you get sacked from work for chopping too many things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a yeah.
Is
If you're
it?
in a power position, first of all, yes.
Yeah.
Now, what about in retail?
Yeah.
And I just work the floor.
Then you're clearly working the floor and you gotta go.
Back in the day, they
You've
didn't care
worked,
with
you've
retail.
done, you're done. You're
Yeah, I
done.
think back
So-
in the day, I don't
They
think
didn't care with
yeah.
retail.
No, back in the day, they didn't care about
But now
nothing.
because of like obviously they're
Yeah, I can
consent
see.
and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, they don't really care.
Ask
retail.
Harrods. They're going for it.
You know, there's an extra 65 people now.
Wild.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's not the criteria for them hiring them anyway.
Crazy.
Yeah, I honestly think he needs to look into it. I feel like if you want to, I mean, if you've written a dilemma, it's clear you to also see the red flag in yourself. It's cute. You want to get married though. It's lovely. But I think that first of all, you need to sort yourself out.
Daddy, no.
Guys, I have some 2 pence.
All right.
Not some.
Yes. I'm back.
Did you even leave?
I think this.
Sorry, did you even come off the stage?
I did. I had to request to get back on. But yes, we're here, back and better. Now, I've got some advice for this young gentleman. I think what he needs to do is he needs to regulate his dopamine levels. And what that means, he needs to basically change his whole life around. Because he's too easily led by the instant attracted by the idea of instant gratification. So what he needs to do, like dopamine comes in all different forms. That's sugar in your tea, that's alcohol, that I don't know if he's smoking weed, that's masturbating. He needs to bring it down and then start, because once you regulate your dopamine levels, then you'll be able to gain dopamine from smaller tasks. Well, not tasks, but like activities, even such things like going for a walk, going for a jog, reading a book, like all these things. But if he's doing things continuously, which are spiking his dopamine levels frequently, then that basically means that, okay, like for sex, he's obviously having a lot of sex. So the sex that he's having right now, obviously I have no idea who this man is, but I would go as far to say he's not even having fun whilst he's having sex, because it's pointless. He needs to really, really dial it down, and then yes, he will be a saved man.
That's true, actually.
Yes.
That's a great advice. Thank you, Sally.
I do think I do give good advice on occasion. So
I'm glad you said on occasion. I was about to say it.
That occasion is every day. Every day is an opportunity to make something happen.
Amen to that.
All right.
Amen.
Thank you,
But
Sally.
Sally gives you up and grateful. Thanks, Sally.
Yeah, guys, I'll
Alright.
speak to them a bit. Take
Well,
care.
anybody else got anything else to
I
add?
don't know to that young man.
Sorry to that man.
Yeah,
Sorry to him.
I think Sally's right, man.
I mean, so yeah, you put your energy into everything.
Yeah, because if looking at this like seriously though, yeah, he's saying, look, I'm getting a lot of pressure from my family, man. He comes from a strict family home. He wants to.
They can't be strict enough.
They don't know though. You know what I'm saying? He's doing late shifts at work.
Maybe he's trying to get his GCSEs now. Go back to where it went wrong. That's something to put your energy into.
Yeah.
I feel like he just needs to be more productive with his time. You clearly got a lot of time on your hands. People that have sex like that, yeah, you got a lot of time on your hands. So I think it's time to start pouring that time into more productive. But you rereading and you're shocked. Yes. I just saw you like. Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, I'm sorry that your family makes you feel like a failure. You know what I mean? But
You failed GCSEs though.
yeah, it don't mean you're a failure.
Sorry.
You're such
How
a
dare
Nigerian
you?
uncle. So yeah, no, it's not a failure because of that.
So you took part then. What was it? What we doing?
He didn't. What?
You didn't take part.
No, but he might have done it and failed it.
Then what is that?
That's not a failure. That's when I failed something.
Hey.
It's not a failure.
Consent.
So when you fail,
This is it, innit?
no, but when you fail something, does that make you a failure?
In that thing?
In that sense.
Nah, because you could. Nah, man. You know, failure is deep. You know, say when you don't know
No,
the word
not a
pressure.
failure overhaul, but you've.
Oh, but when I talk
you
about pressure
failed
and whatnot,
in
coercion, all of a sudden it's a big word. But failure is not a big word.
Consent. Like,
I think I don't. Nah, I mean,
No, I'm
so you're 31 there as well. Maybe he tried again. Maybe he tried other times. But no, I don't like to label people failures. I think failure
Yes.
is the defeat because not everyone's academic.
That's true.
yeah, that was academic.
Do you know what I mean? Everyone's academic, so he might have other talent. Well,
Sorry.
sex is not talent. That's not.
He's cocky, he's his talent.
That's not talent. Because he ain't even using to do Magic Mike or something. That's not a talent. But yeah,
Mike.
I think it's time to pour your energy into everything that Sally said. But all right, well, that'll do it. Let's get into our last headlines, please.
There we'll do it.
All right, people. Sad news here, man. And the Turkish Airlines pilot has died while flying a passenger plane from the US to Turkey, forcing the crew to make an emergency landing in New York. I can't pronounce his name. Ishalen Pelivan, who's the plane's 59-year-old captain, he fainted during the flight from Seattle, Washington to Istanbul, which reportedly took off around 7 p.m. on Tuesday. The crew staged a medical intervention, but it was ineffective. The flight's co-pilot made an emergency landing in New York, but the captain lost his life before the plane landed.
Oh, dear.
Sad, yeah, man.
That's sad.
When he actually underwent a periodic health examination at the Aviation Medical Center in March earlier this year, no health problem was detected, which could have prevented him from flying. So, yeah, sad. Next thing is Elon Musk is preparing to unveil Tesla's long-awaited robo-taxi, like I mentioned in People's Journal, on Thursday, amid growing fears that the company itself is becoming driverless after the sudden departure of 4 top executives. So the Tesla boss has lost his CIO, his public policy chief, the Model X program manager, and also the head of vehicle programs in less than 10 days. And nearly a third of staff who report directly to him have walked. Since he issued his bombshell internal email in April, promising to go absolutely hardcore with layoffs across the country. I think we spoke about that at the time. Sources in the company say that many senior staff feared that their boss had lost focus on the car maker since buying Twitter and renaming it X and throwing his weight behind Donald Trump's presidential bid. And the last headline takes us to Ghana, where trigger warning, a demonstration was held in Accra on Tuesdays to call for the approval of the anti-LGBT law. This law was adopted by Parliament on February 28th and is currently pending presidential assent. The reason given is that not all parties submitted their requests within the deadline set by the court, as stated in a press release issued on Monday. This proposed law, if enacted, would impose prison sentences ranging from 3 to 10 years on anyone identifying as a member of or supporting the LGBTQ community. The legislation is effectively stalled, as the presidency indicated back in March that it would await the Supreme Court's decision before making any statements. Supporters of the law accuse the president of yielding to international pressure, fearing potential loss of funding. However, these accusations have yet to receive a response. And that's it for the headlines. It's time to pay them bills.
Right, let's get into the reaction.
Welcome to the reaction, people, where I read out some sports headlines for you. I'm pissed this international break. What are they talking about? Let's see what we've got here. Let's talk about England versus Greece. Harry Kane is out, and John Stones is going to be a captain in the League of Nations clash. It says England will face Greece in the Nations League match without Harry Kane, who is nursing the injury, and Jack Grealish, who has a slight knock. John Stones will captain the side, and in Kane's absence, becoming the first Manchester City player to do so since 2013. Greece coach Ivan Jovanovic noted England's change in style under Lee Carsley with more possession-based approach and creative freedom for the players. Sad news here. Former Sheffield United defender George Baldock dies at age 31. George Baldock, 31, former Sheffield United defender, was found dead in his swimming pool in Greece. Baldock had recently joined the Greek side Panathinaikos after 7 years with Sheffield United. He made 12 appearances for Greece and was set to face England in the Nations League before his untimely death. The Greek football community is mourning with tributes pouring in from clubs, players and fans. The cause of death is yet to be determined, but police have ruled out foul play. I know, what's Nile done here? Former Premier League striker Nile Ranger desires to make positive impact with young players. Oh, that's nice, Nile. Former Newcastle United striker Nile Ranger, now 33, reflects on his troubled career and missed opportunities due to off-field controversies and personal issues. Ranger, once a promising young talent, faced legal troubles and served jail time for armed robbery and online banking fraud. Despite his potential, his behavioural problems led to numerous contract terminations and clashes with managers and teammates. Ranger acknowledges that his unruly lifestyle prevented him from reaching his full potential and staying in the Premier League. Now playing for Kettering Town in the 7th tier, Ranger hopes to put his past behind him and make positive impact on young players through his football academy. Good luck with that. That's the last headlines I got. Anything you want to touch on, Brent?
There's one last thing, actually.
Let's go.
Nadal. Breaking news, man.
What's happened to Nadal?
Retired.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, man.
He's been on his way out for a little while now, isn't it?
22-time Grand Slam champion. He's going to be retiring at the end of the season.
Nadal's my favourite still. Yeah, all of them. Federer, all of that. Nadal's my favourite. I know Federer's probably better, but
Yeah.
well, you say that, not on clays, not
Say that.
not on clays,
Overall?
not on clays, not.
There was a season when it was all Nadal. So when you say it's better,
When you say a season, you mean
Preference, bro.
Do you mean
It,
years or do you mean?
It's like it was a purple patch, but and for Federer's had done it longer. So I get. I'm with you though. I'm a.
but man, I see it.
I'm an Nadal man.
I see it like Messi, Ronaldo.
Okay, yeah.
Messi's better though.
Yeah, that's
Nadal's forearm.
subjective.
That forehand, the forehand.
Yeah.
thing.
And
then mental.
And Nadal had
Chef's
a bit
kiss.
more.
You know, you hit the top of it with that spinning. Full a mazza. No, I'm a Nadal man. I think
Federer
Nadal
was just too classy. Man.
cold.
Federer
Yeah,
was just too classy.
Big him up, man.
He tried. He did well, man.
It was a good.
What do you think
game.
of Djokovic compared to them, man? There, because he's cold.
Yeah.
But his thing is that because he's an all rounder, so it's not. It might not have that glossy thing. He does everything so
Yeah,
good.
Exactly.
Everything so well that you know what I'm saying. That Djokovic is a madman secretly. You
Not
say
even secretly. In terms of what his numbers though, isn't he? Can't someone say he's like the greatest
Djokovic?
right now?
Yeah.
Right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's falling off now, isn't it? He's coming towards the tail end of his career.
Let me see his accolades.
But in terms of the numbers,
because he's the new boy, and he has been a new boy in the block, innit?
Yeah, for a while. He was beating what's his name, Federer and them man like at will.
Yeah, but that was at the tail end of their careers.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm not sure how much that counts.
But yes, you checking it, yeah? Okay, cool. But yeah, man, the 38-year-old will make his final appearance, Nadal, for Spain at November's Davis Cup Finals in Malaga. In a video message released on Thursday, as in today, because this literally just happened, he said, "I'm here to let you know I'm retiring from professional tennis. The reality is that it has been some difficult years, the last two especially. I don't think I have been able to play without limitations."
So Djokovic has won 24 Grand Slam single titles as of 2024, holding the record for the most by any male tennis player. He has surpassed Roger Federer, who had 20 titles, and Rafael Nadal, who had 22 titles. So 100% he's the new.
He's a legend, man.
But yeah, big up Nadal, man. The real one. In their big fight in Wimbledon, when it mattered, Nadal won. Yeah, when it mattered. Showdown, the world was watching. The sun was falling. It was playing in darkness. You get me? The main stage. Nadal took that one. That's what I'm going to say on that. All right, cool. Let's get into Out Ere.
I hear you, man.
Brent did.
Okay, cool. Okay.
That he was granted bail?
Yeah,
we did.
yeah, okay,
We
cool.
reported that. But it's a long day, man. There's lots of people. All his friends are getting caught in the crossfire now. There's other people.
I was gonna ask you,
There's other people getting taken.
Oh,
It's
man.
nasty work, man. It's nasty work.
It's the purge, right?
Huh?
It's call it the purge, innit? The cleanse.
2024. I told you what. A lot of
Cat
people are
Williams
going to die
told you.
this year.
Cat Williams told you. And
I wonder if I
People
said
didn't
it.
think
They
it
always
covered the
mention
UK.
it. They need to
It
check it
does.
on an episode of Filthy. I told you that 2024. I said it about 2 years ago. I said it. It's
Sorry.
You said filthy as well, innit?
Yeah, I said
So
it.
you predicted mess.
Interested.
What did you predict in
The
2022?
demise of the earth.
So in 2022.
I
Age of
said
Aquarius.
2024.
No, don't you dare bring your
What?
third eye into this.
Age of
You dare bring your third eye into this conversation.
It's the age of Aquarius.
So wait a minute. In 2022, you predicted.
It might have been 22. Yeah, that 2024 was going to be a bad year. A lot of people are going to go. A lot of people are going to leave us.
Did you mean death?
Kind of. But this is
That's gonna take wherever you can get it.
this is like social suicide. You know, like
Wow.
you get died, you get cancelled online. It's like
symbolic,
death.
yeah,
It's the same thing.
Metaphorically.
Metaphorically, yeah. I knew
Open
it,
the
man.
door,
Age
close
of
the door.
Aquarius.
Stop doing that.
Hollywood is falling. Hollyweird, shall I say? Social constructs are being removed.
I'm here for that though.
No, social constructs are being removed.
They need to get
Hollyweird is
moved
being
because cheating is a
removed.
social construct.
We are. It is.
Thank you.
You know, polyamorous for the win. Anyway, Yeah, a lot of things are changing.
Sorry. What's happening here? What the hell is happening here?
Let's get into that, Brent. Did you press it?
Yeah, I did, man.
Oh, press the link then. Let's see what this is.
Oh, you got that?
Yes, there's a link there.
Okay.
You didn't put it there, Emmanuel?
Wait, before you press that.
Nah, press it.
Who put that there?
Wait.
Press it. Press it since we're so organized.
No.
Wasn't it the thing from
Are you
yesterday?
pressing it?
I pressed.
You guys gave him a link. Don't press everything. Press the link.
I am a child.
That's all we're doing.
Did you put this
today.
there?
No, I didn't.
Brent, did you?
I don't touch the dock.
All right, let's see what it is.
Sharing her story on when her and
dating, there was a time where I ended up being pregnant. Not with him, of course,
me.
but not by him. I ended up pregnant. I was like, okay, I don't know what to do. So then I ended up getting an abortion by myself, and it was the most horrible visit I've ever done. That moment where I was like, how did I get here? Like, I had this beautiful, wonderful man of God. I am pregnant and I have this abortion. I'm doing all this in secret. It was so heavy that I had to tell him. And when I tell him this last time, he's gonna break up with me. I broke his heart like 8 times. And then this is the last time. I'm like, there's no way he wants me back, ever. And then so we talk, and he said, well, did you ask God for forgiveness? I'm like, I did. Did you forgive yourself? I'm like, I don't know. Well, I love you and I still want you to be my wife. That was my moment that I felt God's mercy and grace for the first time ever. As we're dating, there was a time where
What is this?
Stupidity.
so
That's what it
the
is.
grace of God is stupidity.
No, the
How many
man-
times do you
the-
sin?
The man is the stupidity.
No. Because Christian, you're
So she cheated on him and got pregnant.
8 times.
Oh, okay.
No. She didn't say she got pregnant 8 times. She said she's broken his heart 8 times before. We don't know what the 8 times are.
Sorry.
Too quick.
Cheated on him 8 times though.
You must say she got pregnant.
Can you imagine? Because you got your agenda.
No.
You do
she
have an
cheated
agenda.
on him 8 times. Not the
She didn't
pregnant
say
part.
she cheated on him 8 times. She said she's broken his heart before 8 times.
All right,
We don't
cool.
know what that could have been.
That is true. That is true.
And we don't know what age that started. If it was when they were in school, that don't count
All right, cool.
in these big 30s.
But then she went to try and get an abortion, innit? And then I think she was successful, innit?
Yeah.
And then she got pregnant by a different guy.
How do you know? She said that in
She
that one
said,
clip.
yeah, she got pregnant by a different guy, innit?
No, she didn't say she went to get an abortion and then came back.
No,
It was
it's
something
one
like got
abortion.
pregnant. It was one abortion. What are you doing?
Okay, so she's not pregnant now, basically.
No.
When she's saying she was
Did you
pregnant
watch
by a
this,
different
or-
guy, she's explaining not by my husband.
Yeah.
I was pregnant by a
Yeah,
different
yeah.
guy. That's what she's
Yeah.
saying, isn't it?
So where are you getting that she went to get an abortion, then
did she-
came back,
did she
then
get
got
the-
pregnant again?
Did she get the abortion though?
Yeah, she got it.
Yes.
Okay, so the baby's gone.
Baby's gone. And
Okay.
she-
So you just saw a woman, then you saw the caption, it was actually, you put this in the doc. I didn't, you did. I don't even think you even finished with the video, it went until you just saw that her man took her back and you put it in there to do your silly little agendas.
I was
'Cause
surprised.
look how you're
there
making
was a
stories
clip.
up.
I was surprised there's a clip.
Anyway, big up the grace of God.
Ah.
When you do it.
So you don't want me to give the husband down here?
I mean,
Yeah, why
I
did you
didn't
put
do
this in the...
anything.
Who was
I
it?
didn't do it.
You did. This
Oh
has
my
got you written
gosh.
all over it. This is you through and through. This
I
is the kind of
wouldn't-
things
I
you put in
wouldn't
here.
do this.
I don't know why you think we wouldn't expect you to do this one. You've done 20
Wait, why are you
others.
quiet, man? Was it you?
It might have
I've
been
been
Brent.
quite the entire show.
For one. Yeah, ask
Who
when
did
it was
this?
quiet.
Hey, Chijuke, was it you?
I don't know. I'm just gonna omit this from the evidence.
I hope it
so
wasn't Chijoke, because Chijoke is like,
that's crazy. We're gonna
I hope it
we're
wasn't
gonna,
you.
we're gonna omit this from the evidence. Jury
Yes.
just want to forget
Dismiss
everything that
the
you just
case,
saw.
man.
Yeah,
Dismiss all the evidence that you just saw, and let's get into this wrap up.
situation. Anyway,
Well, that was the end of a great day.
wasn't it? Well,
It
tomorrow
was.
will tell.
It was a great day. We had a lot going on. We had a very explosive. What are you saying? Topic of the day.
It wasn't even topic, it was word on road.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah.
It was word on road.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Word on Road went off.
Great
this
Word on
week,
Road.
So you might want to check that out.
Brent is a great co-host.
Our topic of the day was alright actually. Was it? Was everything just as good?
It was KSI,
It was
and
bad.
dead music.
Did you see?
Started this.
Did you see the clip of Speed listening to it?
Nah.
Have you listened to it?
Oh, 1 second. Sorry. I don't know if I bookmark this. If I bookmark this, Brent, you have to play this. Please tell me I bookmark this. Okay, I didn't bookmark it. I think I tweeted it. 1 sec. Brent. There we go. Email. Sorry, guys. We know this is a wrap up, but stuff happened. It was great today.
Anyway, love to KSI in it.
Big love to KSI. You getting that, Brent? While Brent's sorting it out, yeah. So we had that in Avenues, Biden and Netanyahu. They're warning about a deadly surprise attack of Iran. There's other stuff going on. What else is going on in the world that we spoke about?
Elon Musk. It's so crazy every time I hear Elon Musk, I only think of Shally Poppy. That's influence.
Yeah, well, Trump's gaining.
Great song, everyone check it out.
Trump's gaining in the polls, and that's probably got something to do with Elon Musk and his online campaign tampering. You get me? Like, it's all fucked up. Oh, please, please, Brent, press play.
Oh my gosh.
Is it going to get taken down now because of the song?
I don't think so.
Okay, no. Okay, got it.
This story goes. This shit is so fucking ass, bitch! Quit fucking music! Quit that shitty ass shit! Turn that shit off! Turn that trash ass fucking shit off! I'm sick of hearing that goddamn song! I'm sick of hearing that shit! Hey!
I did not expect
that.
I like the song though. I think it's very smart. It's given like you can be played in FIFA backgrounds, Fortnite, like gaming music.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
The brand.
He's giving turn around and die. That's what the vibe
That's
is.
his,
So this is what he said was a generational miss. You make me tired. You make me tired. That's not a generational problem.
Well,
now.
Yeah, that was it. Great show, guys.
Well, that'll do
Thanks
it.
for
Follow us
having
on
me
socials.
again.
Huh?
Thanks for having me again.
Yes, thank you for coming on, girl.
Why
We
wouldn't you
appreciate
for
you.
me?
Thanks
You
for having
definitely
me
should have
too.
I know you lying.
I thought I locked this off.
Wait, what's that?
Sally!
Yeah, just want to say, yeah, fantastic
I just want to
episode.
say.
Thanks for tuning
whole
in.
time.
This is insane.
Same time tomorrow, guys.
Do you know what?
Wow.
On that note, Sally has said goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah,
What?
peace.